Power slips from one hand to another, like a stolen pearl passing in secret. He holds two delicate figures close, a fragile shelter before the storm. If you can feel what's coming, like and subscribe and stay with me. This is the crest before the plunge, a haunted memory of what is about to be lost. Don't look away. This kid, I don't know where he got a water-repelling pearl. He went deep into the sea and couldn't be found. Only managed to retrieve this pearl. Jiang Fan was slightly surprised. Even the Sky Demon Emperor couldn't catch up with Wang Chongxiao. This guy really has some skills. However, he caught the key point. Water-repelling pearl. Without the water-repelling pearl, it seems the Demon Emperor would be limited in various aspects in the vast sea. Doesn't that mean if Jiang Fan has a chance to go to the sea, he could also escape into the sea? Jiang Fan! But the first thing the Sky Demon Emperor did upon returning was to scan around with his eyes for Jiang Fan's figure. Noticing he was back, he slightly breathed a sigh of relief and called Jiang Fan over. Jiang Fan calmly stepped forward and said, "What does the Demon Emperor command?" The Sky Demon Emperor looked Jiang Fan up and down. "What have you gained?" Jiang Fan cupped his fists with shame and said, "I found nothing of use. Got thoroughly searched by Wang Chongxiao." Currently, the Sky Demon Emperor had extreme distrust towards Jiang Fan. Squinting his eyes to examine him, "Is that so?" His eyes flashed with a faint purple light. It was unexpectedly the ability Liu Li had used before, perspection, upon scanning. Jiang Fan had nothing on him except for a few spirit pills. "Where's your purple sword?" The Sky Demon Emperor remembered that Jiang Fan had an extremely sharp, long sword. Jiang Fan gave a bitter laugh. "All turned into someone's dowry. In fact, before leaving the cave mansion." Jiang Fan handed everything to little Kirin for safekeeping. With the Demon Emperor's high degree of suspicion towards him, he would never believe just his word. Fearful that Jiang Fan might have gained something unimaginable in the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion. Therefore, a body search was highly probable. The Sky Demon Emperor's brows relaxed, feeling somewhat comforted. This kid also has his setbacks. He. Out with the old, in with the new. The Sky Demon Emperor feigned a comforting tone, with his eyes falling on Jiang Fan's dragon-binding chain. After pondering for a moment, he said, "Yunxia, give me the key." Concubine Yunxia handed him the real key. The Sky Demon Emperor took it, examined it, and then attempted to unlock the chain. A cracking sound. The chain opened. The key is real. Only then did the Sky Demon Emperor feel relieved, locking it back again. Concubine Yunxia's heart was pounding wildly. Jiang Fan was truly foresightful. It was just as he predicted that the Sky Demon Emperor would check the key's authenticity. Almost got caught. She reached out, wanting to take back the key. Unexpectedly, the Sky Demon Emperor casually stuffed the key into his own bosom. Smiling slightly, he said, "I'll keep it safe." Concubine Yunxia was instantly thrown into chaos. It's over. The dragon-binding chain is a chain that even a nascent soul cannot break free from. Without the key, Jiang Fan would be bound for life. Jiang Fan not giving her the real key would bring great disaster, yet giving the real key would still lead to great disaster. Whether to give the key or not, it was a deadlock. Why is Jiang Fan so difficult? Unbeknownst to them, inside the heavenly thunder stone, quietly lay a key formed by memory silver sand. Since he handed over the real key, how could Jiang Fan not leave a backup plan? The Sky Demon Emperor was completely at ease. Only then did he pick up the Earth Chi Dragon Ball and publicly displayed it. Just a fairly decent Feng Shui ball. If Xuanyang likes it, you can have it. Xuanyang examined it closely. With a disappointed look, apparently even with his skill, he could tell it was not an Earth Chi Dragon Ball. Since no one wants it, the Sky Demon Emperor, amid everyone's astonished exclamations, crushed it into powder. Even Xuanyang was taken aback. Sky Demon Emperor, even if this is not an Earth Chi Dragon Ball, it is still a treasure of immense value. Why did you destroy it? It's known that this was a treasure even the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion couldn't suppress. The Earth Chi within was exceptionally powerful. It had the potential to be refined into a spiritual artifact embryo. But immediately, Xuanyang understood the Sky Demon Emperor's intent. Without this bead, there would no longer be Earth Chi eruptions in the future. The Tiger Demon Emperor mansion would never appear again, completely eliminating the hope of the mainland demon clan charging into the Demon Emperor realm. From now on, this mainland demon clan would have only one Demon Emperor. He was shocked and said with profound meaning, "Sky Demon Emperor, you are truly ruthless to your own kind." The Sky Demon Emperor shot him a cold glance, saying, Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion, you've explored it thoroughly. Please leave. You are not welcome here, Xuanyang sneered. We do not care for this barbaric land either. Goodbye. He then immediately led the troops from Taikang State and set sail. The West Sea Crown Prince and East Sea Third Princess gave Jiang Fan a complicated look. They naturally also saw that Jiang Fan's situation was quite dire, but there was little they could do. Even the West Sea Crown Prince was powerless, saying, "Take care, little brother. If fate allows, we'll meet in the West Sea." Saying this, he sighed and returned to the sea. The East Sea Third Princess also looked regretful, sighing. The battered flowers wither in the wind and rain, the hidden dreams unfinished people suddenly wake. The thorny flowers are going to wither. Alas! Saying this, she too hung her head and jumped into the sea, leaving Jiang Fan utterly confused. Are you feeling melancholic? Finally. The Sky Demon Emperor looked at Mingzhu with a frown and said, Aren't you leaving yet? Mingzhu gave Jiang Fan a complicated glance and said, Young Master Jiang, you take care. She silently sighed. An excellent human clan prodigy was going to fall at the hands of the Demon Emperor. Alas! With a sigh, she too returned to the sea. The Sky Demon Emperor surveyed the area. Finally looking at the forever sinking Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion, the hidden worry in his heart could finally be laid to rest. No one could ever replicate his path to becoming a Demon Emperor. The demon race would always have only him as the Emperor, forever. But, just at that moment, a shadow flickered at the entrance of the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion, a small, brownish creature with fur dashed out in a panic. The Demon Emperor's gaze sharpened, frowning. A little spirit beast. Where did another living creature in the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion come from? Jiang Fan was also taken aback. Little Kirin, how did it come out? Wasn't it supposed to wait for everyone to leave before sneaking out? Running out in front of the Demon Emperor, that's a huge problem. Master, run! That monster came out from the inner mansion. In his mind, the terrified voice of little Kirin reverberated. What the hell beast came out? Could it have devoured a part of Yan Daeon's soul, gaining power to finally break free? Before he could verify, a low growl emanated from within the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion. The roar was filled with a barbaric, fierce aura, carrying a spine-chilling malevolence, as if it were a terrifying creature emerging from the depths of hell. Hell beast! The Sky Demon Emperor gasped, expressing a horrified exclamation. Then he realized something, his eyes suddenly sharp as knives, glaring at Mingzhu, Liu Li, Concubine Yunxia, and Jiang Fan as if he would devour them. One of you has been to the inner mansion. Who? Speak. Emperor, one who has visited the inner palace before. He knows better than anyone else what is suppressed in the main hall of the inner palace. He also knows it is in an extremely weakened state. It's impossible for it to escape confinement, unless someone enters and disrupts its current weakened state. Who went in? Did they take away the supreme treasure that threatens his position as Demon Emperor? This is what he is more concerned about. Concubine Yunxia and the others were so shocked by this shout that their bodies shuddered violently. Their internal organs felt like turbulent seas. Master Liu Li held her stomach, showing a trace of pain. Father, I have never entered. Mingzhu also turned pale, forcing herself to endure the pain within, said, We have always been in the outer palace. Could it be someone from the West Sea, the East Sea, or the Outer Realm divine sect? Concubine Yunxia was in turmoil. Said, Demon Emperor, calm down. Aren't there still two people who haven't come out? That girl from the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple and the Bamboo Hat Man. It's most likely them who entered the inner palace. The Sky Demon Emperor's eyes flickered with monstrous, murderous intent. What he feared most was someone entering the inner palace and seizing the opportunity to surpass the Demon Emperor. Yet someone had gone in. Concubine Yunxia's words did not quell his anger in the slightest. On the contrary, it made him even more furious. His gaze fell upon Jiang Fan. Clearly, it was just a look, yet it felt like a mountain suddenly pressing down on Jiang Fan, with a cracking sound. Jiang Fan was pressed so hard that his feet crushed the stones, his entire soul sinking in. You are the most suspicious. The Sky Demon Emperor's eyes were filled with intense killing intent. If anyone has the pill book silver scroll, I wouldn't find it strange. Except for you, a mere human clan member hiding so deeply. You are more suspicious than anyone else. Jiang Fan gritted his teeth slightly. Facing the wrath of a Demon Emperor realm directly, this pressure was much stronger than imagined. He spoke with difficulty. Do you seek a pretext to punish without cause? If the Demon Emperor wants to kill me, go ahead. I have nothing to say. He thought the Demon Emperor would be troubled by this. Unexpectedly, his eyes were filled with murderous intent. Good. I've long wanted to kill you. Now it's time to eliminate all future troubles. At this moment, he no longer acted, revealing his true intentions directly. What? Concubine Yunxia was startled and hurriedly said, Demon Emperor, please think thrice. Do you want to let Master Liu Li have a reputation of being defiled and pregnant? This would greatly impact your reputation, Demon Emperor. The Demon Emperor coldly glanced at her askance. Can't you see? The threat this person poses is far more severe than damaging my reputation. Why keep him around? All along, the Demon Emperor did not kill Jiang Fan just to maintain his own face. But Jiang Fan's threat was too great, so great that he likely took something that threatened the Demon Emperor's status. At this point, who cares about face? The hidden threat must be eliminated on the spot. Suddenly, the Demon Emperor sensed something was off, narrowed his eyes, deeply observing Concubine Yunxia. Something's not right. Haven't you always hated Jiang Fan to the core? Yet, when he's in trouble, you're this anxious to defend him. His gaze flickered between the two, eyes filled with suspicion. Could something have happened between you two that I don't know about? Thud, thud, Concubine Yunxia's heart pounded fiercely. If she weren't exceptionally composed, she would have already shown a strange expression from fright. She said expressionlessly, I only have the Demon Emperor's reputation in mind. Liu Li also spoke at this moment, pleading, Father, you can't just kill him based on suspicion. What about the child in my stomach? Ling Shu also gathered her courage, imploring, Demon Emperor, wait until the investigation is clear before making a decision. Don't mistakenly harm him. Jang Fan heard this, inwardly thought he was doomed. The Sky Demon Emperor is narrow-minded, deeply suspicious. The more united the people around, the more suspicious he becomes. The three women's unanimous plea for Jiang Fan only made the Sky Demon Emperor more suspicious. Sure enough, the Sky Demon Emperor angrily laughed, sweeping a glance at the three women. Jiang Fan, you are quite impressive. My women, my daughter, my clan's prodigy all appeal for mercy on a human clan. I really didn't see you're so charming. If he hadn't suddenly lashed out to kill Jiang Fan, he wouldn't have known that the people around him had all been won over by Jiang Fan. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. This Jiang Fan must not stay. Absolutely must not stay. He must die. The terrifying nascent soul aura surged and erupted within him. No one could dissuade him now. Resolved to kill, even if the Heavenly King came, he would still slay Jiang Fan, and Jiang Fan also sensed it. Might as well not pretend any longer. Little Kirin, the distant little Kirin with an instantaneous movement appeared in his embrace. The heavenly thunderstone it held in its mouth contained all his belongings, a thought. A key forged from memory silver sand appeared in his palm, in front of the Demon Emperor. Jiang Fan unlocked the dragon binding chain, smiling lightly. All right then. Since the Demon Emperor laid everything out, I won't pretend either. This dragon binding chain never could contain me. What? The Sky Demon Emperor took out the authentic key from his sleeve. The dragon binding chain has two keys. No, that's a replica. It's memory silver sand. You refined the Tiger Demon Emperor's memory silver sand. He realized instantly he had been played by Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan clearly had the ability to refine memory silver sand, yet pretended not to, successfully deceiving him, allowing Jiang Fan to obtain it. And with memory silver sand, Jiang Fan could completely copy a pill book silver scroll to enter the inner palace. How dare you deceive me? The Sky Demon Emperor was both ashamed and furious. Feeling his dignity insulted, Jiang Fan chuckled. Who let you be so full of suspicion? Your thoughts were too easy to guess. It would be a waste not to deceive you. You're so easy to fool. Ah. The Sky Demon Emperor erupted in rage. Roaring, you seek death. He waved a palm, the terrifying strike from the Demon Emperor containing overwhelming might. Jiang Fan chuckled. Kill me, you're not enough. He raised his hand to grab. From the depths of the heavens, a thunder dragon roared over. Then, carrying him, instantly vanished beyond the horizon of the sea. It was clearly the third layer of cloud shadow, seizing 9 heavens thunder as dragons, instantaneously moving beyond the line of sight. The Sky Demon Emperor's palm struck empty, hitting the ground, creating a terrifying beast claw print 100 meters wide. He actually managed to escape from my strike? The Sky Demon Emperor was even more enraged. A mere 5th-level core formation human junior could actually escape unscathed from his Demon Emperor's strike. What a humiliation this was! Boom, he stomped the ground, instantly propelling himself. The ground was shaken by this stomp, trembling and shaking the mountains. Concubine Yunxia was shocked, filled with despair. The demon emperor personally gave chase. How could Jiang Fan possibly escape? She bit her lip, turned, and said, "Sea Charm, you must quickly escort them away from here. The hell beast is about to emerge." Sea Charm was equally worried. "What about you?" Concubine Yunxia resolutely said. "Don't worry about me." She leapt forward, sparing no expense on her limited nascent soul aura, followed closely in pursuit. Above the vast sea, a thunder dragon spanned dozens of miles. Jiang Fan dared not stop, summoned another thunder dragon, crossed over again, instantly widening the distance between him and the demon emperor. But he didn't relax one bit. Because the demon emperor's overwhelming killing intent, even across 100 li, he could feel it. If there was a glimmer of hope for survival, there was only one left. Finally, as expected, after 5 instances of instantaneous movement, the power of thunder and lightning within him was utterly depleted. He could no longer flee. At this moment, he was already over 200 miles deep into the vast sea. It could be considered as entering the depths of the sea. He felt the intense approach of the demon emperor's aura. Decisively, he took out the water-repelling pearl and swallowed it whole, then dived into the sea. A large amount of seawater filled his mouth, rushing into his body. The water-repelling pearl absorbed all the seawater that entered his body. It filtered the air from the water and expelled the seawater out. Thus repeated. The water-repelling pearl continuously extracted air, supplying Jiang Fan's entire body, enabling Jiang Fan to survive without breathing underwater, impossible to drown. No time to marvel at its magic. Jiang Fan decisively swam towards the deepest part of the vast sea. The sea, hundreds of fathoms deep, was utterly dark, impenetrable by sight. The reason Wang Chongxiao managed to escape from Sky Demon Emperor's pursuit was mostly due to utilizing the ocean floor's properties. Gurgle, the slight trouble, was a struggle in Jiang Fan's arms. It was the little Kirin experiencing distress. Jiang Fan realized with panic. He had actually forgotten the little Kirin. It too needed to breathe. Just as Jiang Fan was about to take out the water-repelling pearl to use alternately with the little Kirin quieted down again. This startled Jiang Fan, worried it had drowned. Pulled open his robe to look inside, Jiang Fan was astonished, but saw a faint golden light emanating from the little Kirin's belly. Vaguely visible, a round pearl was emitting a gentle Buddhist light. It separated the surrounding water, creating a space. The little Kirin blinked its big eyes and said, "Master, this pearl glows." Merit divine pearl. Jiang Fan's eyes showed a hint of surprise. This pearl could sense its host's danger and provide assistance. It truly was magical. In this way, there were no more worries, not long after. He felt his feet gained footing, surrounded by densely packed shadows. He should have fallen into a crevice of a coral group. This was even safer. Of course, to be safe, Jiang Fan also took out and wore the turtle breath cloak. He didn't believe even this could lead the demon emperor to find him. Boom, a thunderous roar sounded overhead. The demon emperor had pursued him, but the vast sea was too deep. Even if he randomly attacked the sea, the nascent soul power released would be absorbed by seawater. Aside from causing towering waves, it had nearly no impact on the sea bottom. Jiang Fan was completely at ease. He only needed to silently wait for the demon emperor to give up. Then he could ascend ashore from elsewhere and quietly return to the human clan. "The water-repelling pearl really helped me a lot," exclaimed Jiang Fan. It seemed like inadvertently saving Mingzhu once, but in fact also saved his own life. Otherwise, if he ran on land, by now the demon emperor would have caught up and smashed him to pieces with one palm. "Jiang Fan, come out!" Relentlessly bombarded the nearby seawater for a while, but still could not see any trace of Jiang Fan. Sky Demon Emperor was furious at this moment. Seeing Concubine Yunxia rushing over, his anger flared up. "What are you doing here? Afraid I'll kill him, feeling sorry for him?" The more he thought, the more suspicious it became. Concubine Yunxia's attitude towards Jiang Fan, a stark contrast before and after, was enough. This trip to the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion was highly unusual. "I ask you, you've been with Jiang Fan all along. He went to the inner mansion, you wouldn't know. Or did he take you with him? You conspired with him to deceive me." Concubine Yunxia did not deny it and said, "I didn't mean to deceive you, but I also want to break through to the Demon Emperor realm." Knowing she truly went in with Jiang Fan secretly, filled with anger, grabbed Concubine Yunxia's arms forcefully, shaking her. "What did you do inside? Did you do anything that lets me down? Speak." Concubine Yunxia looked at her husband in front of her, her expression calm. One had ruined her nascent soul path and took possession of her. One drank poison for her, giving her a chance to live. Comparing the two, no, Sky Demon Emperor was simply no match for Jiang Fan. She coldly said, "You can underestimate me, but please don't underestimate Jiang Fan's integrity." Sky Demon Emperor was angered. He slapped her on the face. "Shameless harlot! Dare to plead for him?" Concubine Yunxia's face burned, and a trickle of blood crept from the corner of her mouth. Her expression remained calm, just as her heart towards Sky Demon Emperor, like stagnant water. "If he truly intended to own my body when I was captured by him, he would have possessed it countless times. Unlike you, afraid of death when you want to possess," Concubine Yunxia said calmly, her words full of irony. Only then did the Demon Emperor realize a bit. Concubine Yunxia had divinity transformation blood essence within her. He dared not force her. If Jiang Fan dared to be forceful when capturing her, he would have been obliterated long ago. Furthermore, the character of Concubine Yunxia was something he had secretly observed many times. It can be said with certainty. She wasn't the sort of person who would do something against her husband behind his back. Knew he had wronged her. The Demon Emperor's voice softened. "I care too much for you. Does it hurt?" He reached out to touch Concubine Yunxia's swollen cheek, but she moved aside expressionless and said softly, "Demon Emperor, please conduct yourself with dignity." The Demon Emperor's anger flared again. Resentment accumulated over the years erupted at this moment. "What exactly do you want from me? 5 years, and you wouldn't even let me touch a single finger," though possessing the first beauty of the demon race. No one knew he couldn't even touch a finger, let alone her heart. For so many years, Concubine Yunxia hadn't even given him a single smile, treating him like a stranger. He had no doubt one day if he fell. Concubine Yunxia would also remain expressionless with not a tear shed for him. Concubine Yunxia looked calmly, said, "You wanted me to marry you, I married. Wanted me to be loyal and faithful, I did so. What more do you want?" The Demon Emperor felt stifled in his chest. True, these were not disputed. But was this what he wanted? He wanted Concubine Yunxia to be intimate with him, to admire and adore him, not to be distant like the heavens. "I admit back then I severed your Demon Emperor path. But didn't I take you as a concubine? Didn't I favor you the most? Of the 36 concubines, who is more favored than you? Is this still not enough?" In the seabed, Jang Fan listened with secret contempt. "Severing your Demon Emperor path? What a light statement." The Sky Demon Emperor himself, to maintain his rule, did not hesitate to start wars consuming the demon race's powerhouses. To prevent other demon races from replicating his path, he strictly guarded the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion. Fearful Jiang Fan would leak the opportunity to break through to the Demon Emperor. He spared no cost in trying to kill him. One could say, for the sake of the Demon Emperor throne, he had gone mad. The ridiculous part, when it came to others, it was brushed off lightly. If someone had severed his Demon Emperor path, he would have already annihilated the entire family. Even more despicable, craving Concubine Yunxia's beauty and forcing her to marry him. Yet in his words, it became a favor to Concubine Yunxia. Only Concubine Yunxia's nature of indifference, without desire, power, or wealth. Any other woman would loathe the Sky Demon Emperor to the core. Where did he get the nerve for this moral coercion? Fortunately, Concubine Yunxia didn't buy into it. No matter how affectionately Demon Emperor spoke, she remained calm as still water, indifferently said, "Demon Emperor, attend to important matters. Between you and me, there's no personal affair to discuss." Seeing the churning sea surface with no sign of Jiang Fan, she secretly rejoiced. It seemed the Demon Emperor couldn't find Jiang Fan. How wonderful, he survived. Sky Demon Emperor clenched his fist, facing Concubine Yunxia, who treated him like air. Felt like punching cotton, nowhere to exert force. Seemingly, no matter what he did, he couldn't get her body or her heart. Frustratedly, he stomped on the vast sea. Dozens of feet of spray shot up high. Under the sun's rays, refracted into shimmering golden light, extraordinarily dazzling. Golden light, suddenly. An inspiration struck Sky Demon Emperor's mind. Looking down at the ink-black sea, he revealed a slight teasing smile. "Jiang Fan, did you really think I couldn't find you? He. He pulled out a human face-sized wooden carving from his bosom. On it was a Buddha statue carved with a serene smile. The expression was peaceful, with a tranquil smile. It had a natural, divine charm. It seemed like a true Buddha embedded in the wood. Concubine Yunxia became uneasy. "What is this?" The Sky Demon Emperor chuckled. "Not long ago, the Dharma Seal Vajra from the White Horse Temple visited our Demon Emperor court. He said he was looking for Jiang Fan to bring him into Buddhism. I refused." Concubine Yunxia frowned secretly. Did such a thing happen? Fortunately, Jiang Fan wasn't there at that time, or he would have been taken by White Horse Temple right away. But why did they leave a wooden Buddha? The Sky Demon Emperor held the wooden Buddha, smiling faintly. That little spirit beast on him, wasn't it the one that stole the merit divine pearl back then? Concubine Yunxia's heart suddenly pounded. She brushed her hair to hide her panic. Is it such a coincidence? The Sky Demon Emperor smiled slightly. We'll know by trying. He tossed the wooden Buddha into the vast sea. A faint golden Buddha light was released from the wooden Buddha. It radiated into the depths of the vast sea. Under the sea, Jiang Fan sensed trouble at this point. He quickly looked into his bosom. Under the influence of the Buddha light from the wooden Buddha, the light emitted by the merit divine pearl became increasingly brighter. The turtle breath cloak could hardly conceal its Buddha light. His heart skipped a beat. Without thinking, he took out the sky observation treasure. Hiss! At this moment, a terrifying finger force pierced through the sea, precisely targeting them. Jiang Fan quickly activated the sky observation treasure. As the eye on it rotated, most of the finger force was reflected back right before it was about to strike. Still, a small part of its power burst forth. Rumble, the seafloor coral reef, was flattened by the shattering aftermath. Jiang Fan, who was hiding in a crevice, couldn't escape it. The chain armor on his surface emitted a strained, grating noise. In the end, it couldn't fully resist. Jiang Fan was severely injured on the spot, spewing a mouthful of blood that stained the sea red. "Master!" the little Kirin called anxiously. Burdened, Jiang Fan said, "You've already been exposed. The Demon Emperor waged a war between the clans to capture you. He won't let you go easily now that he's found you. Run quickly. Escape through the sea bottom." Jiang Fan grabbed the little Kirin from his bosom and threw it far away. Then he swam toward the sea surface himself. "Master, what about you?" The little Kirin was stunned. Jiang Fan turned his head and said, "I'm too exhausted to escape anymore. I've no chance of getting away now. I'll stall for you as long as possible, run as far as you can." The little Kirin's eyes grew moist, and it sprinted back, leaping into his arms. "No, I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay with Master." Jiang Fan sighed, patting its furry head, and said, "Be obedient. Between us, if one can escape, that's enough. Master is at the end, but you still have a chance. Go, don't let Master die in vain." Jiang Fan steeled his heart and threw it afar. Said, "Go quickly. Find a safe place. Remember not to eat things from others at random. If discovered, they'll beat you, scold you, or even capture you. And next time you look for a master, find a strong one. Don't end up like with me, always hiding here or there. Go." Tears blurred the little Kirin's vision. It didn't understand what emotions were, but it knew Master was using his life to light a beacon of hope for it in the darkness. "Master, ooh," it left, under Jiang Fan's thrown coral stone under his stern command, crying as it left, turning back at every step, until its eyes were filled with darkness and it could no longer see its master's figure. It wept like rain. Then it turned and dashed into the encompassing darkness. Ran and ran toward an unknown direction. Jiang Fan watched the Buddha light gradually fade away. A warmth spread across his face. "Good luck, little one." Then he looked up toward the sea surface, his eyes sharp as blades. He clenched his palm. A broken hairpin appeared in his hand. Boom, water splashed everywhere. Jiang Fan burst out of the sea, coldly staring at the Sky Demon Emperor. The latter was wearing a gloomy expression, glaring fiercely at him. His hairpin had fallen, black hair scattered. His eyes were filled with a chilling, killing intent. To think you could reflect the finger force of the Demon Emperor realm. You hid really well. Indeed, I wasn't wrong to try to kill you. Who would dare believe that a core formation realm would reflect back an attack from the nascent soul realm? If he hadn't reacted in time, he would have been injured just now. This made the Sky Demon Emperor's killing intent even more profound. He raised his hand, emitting intense killing intent all over, and said, "Game over. It's your time to die." Concubine Yunxia revealed a resolute expression, stepping forward to block Jiang Fan. "Don't move." Jiang Fan's voice resounded in her mind. "Pleading is useless. He will still kill me, and you will forever be suspected by him. Don't do something foolish." Concubine Yunxia was still determined. "Hasn't he always wanted to have me? I'll agree to it. Trade your life for freedom." "He will agree." "What?" Jiang Fan's heart was tremendously shaken. Concubine Yunxia wanted to serve the Demon Emperor for him. Is it worth it? For just one member of the human clan, is it worth it? Concubine Yunxia softly laughed in her heart. "It's worth it. For you, it's worth it. Jiang Fan, I like you. The kind of like that promises a lifetime that accompanies to old age. For you, I can do anything." from the moment Jiang Fan drank the deadly poison for her. Her heart belonged to Jiang Fan. Since then, no second person could enter her heart. Thunder roared in Jiang Fan's heart. He was utterly stunned. Concubine Yunxia liked him. This confession was too sudden and so decisive. He could almost guess Concubine Yunxia's plan. Once Jiang Fan escaped into the vast sky, she would take her own life, rather than let the demon emperor touch her. A profound emotion surged in Jiang Fan's heart. He wasn't made of iron, nor was his heart. Thank you that before I die someone is willing to protect me, so I'm content to die. Jiang Fan smiled slightly in his heart. But don't be silly. The demon emperor isn't a fool. He'll get you first, then kill me. You'll lose everything. Concubine Yunxia's heart wavered slightly. How could she not know this was a more likely scenario? But if I don't even try, Jiang Fan interrupted her. Don't fool yourself. Live well and avoid the demon emperor's suspicion. Also, when I'm gone, remember to take the heavenly thunder stone on me. It has a gift left for you. Okay, it's time to say goodbye. I hope in the remaining days you are treated gently, just as you have treated me gently. Goodbye. I'll go first. Deep sorrow arose in Concubine Yunxia's heart. What are you going to do? Don't act recklessly, don't. The mute Zen bead was already closed. Jiang Fan looked at the demon emperor, fiercely striking with a palm. In his eyes soared a resolute killing intent. Sky demon emperor, let's embark together. He clenched the hairpin. His soul boiled within, surging into the hairpin wildly. Demon emperor's gaze fell on the hairpin in Jiang Fan's hand. His pupils contracted slightly. With his experience, he naturally also sensed the extraordinary nature of the hairpin. As Jiang Fan activated it with his soul power, a terrifying aura that made even him feel alarmed surged forth from the hairpin. So much so that the hand he swung down suddenly stopped. He dared not act rashly anymore. The playful expression on his face disappeared, replaced by a hint of seriousness. What are you doing? Put it down immediately. Jiang Fan laughed. He laughed coldly. What, are you scared? It's too late. Today it's either you die or I die. Boom, all his soul power was infused into the hairpin. Not a single strand left. The bronze hairpin began to tremble. A sprout-shaped green light emerged from the bronze hairpin. It grew rapidly. From a sprout it grew into a small sapling 1 foot high. From a sapling it grew into a 10-jang tall tree. The leaves were dense and lush. It was clearly a wudang tree. At this moment, something on the tree moved. Looking closely, a bronze-colored phoenix bird rested on a branch. Its form was graceful, its gaze cold and proud, overlooking all beings like a godly bird atop the clouds. Phoenix, phoenix bird! The sky demon emperor's pupils contracted again. Being stared at by this phoenix bird, his demon emperor realm soul was actually trembling, as if encountering his nemesis. But what gave him a fright was, there was more than one phoenix bird on the tree. On other branches, there were more. Counting roughly, there were 9 in total. All of them stared coldly at the Sky Demon Emperor, making his soul cry in terror. The Sky Demon Emperor's face turned stark white, sweat pouring down his body like a fountain. His body trembled uncontrollably. Even his voice was shaking abnormally. Jiang Fan, stop! I order you to stop immediately. He was scared, truly scared. This phoenix bird could kill him, easily kill him. He did not expect Jiang Fan to wield something so terrifying in his hand. Jiang Fan looked up at the wudang tree, at the 9 phoenix birds on it. He pinned all his hopes on them. Go, at the command, the phoenix bird on the topmost branch spread its wings, revealing an incredibly elegant form. With a flap, it flew towards the Sky Demon Emperor. No, don't come over. Don't come over. The Sky Demon Emperor's complexion changed drastically, and his figure retreated violently. The phoenix bird flew slowly, gracefully. Yet the distance between it and the Sky Demon Emperor closed rapidly, as if the Sky Demon Emperor was marching in place. Then, the phoenix bird easily passed through the Sky Demon Emperor's body, emerging from his back. It caused no injuries, just a pair of slender, beautiful talons clutching a soul body. It was precisely the Sky Demon Emperor's. No! No! The Sky Demon Emperor shouted in terror. His soul body clung tightly to his body, trying not to be taken away, but his resistance was futile. The soul body was pulled bit by bit from the flesh. Fear, terror, anger, all spread across the face of the soul body. He despaired. In front of this phoenix bird, his demon emperor realm's soul body was powerless to resist. But just as his soul body was about to be extracted from the flesh, the bronze glow from the hairpin suddenly dimmed. The wudang tree, along with the figure of the phoenix bird atop it, dimmed quickly. The phoenix bird clutching the demon emperor's soul body disintegrated into a beam of green light and returned to the hairpin. The sky demon emperor, as if pardoned, his soul body immediately returned to the flesh. Whoosh, 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 the sky demon emperor crouched on the ground, gasping for air. His eyes were filled with the shock of a brush with death. He had almost died. Died at the hands of Jiang Fan, this human junior. "Jiang Fan!" the sky demon emperor shouted in furious anger. With a wrathful strike, he fiercely slammed Jiang Fan's body. This was a nascent soul strike. Jiang Fan bitterly smiled, summoning the sky observation treasure, reflecting most of the power back. But the remaining force struck him without fail. Unlike before in the seabed, this time the distance was close. The armor couldn't protect him. Crunch, crunch, his body, like a dry ceramic jar being severely struck. The bones within him completely shattered. His organs turned into a mess of flesh. If not for the armor protecting him, he would have turned into a mist of blood. Still not dead, the sky demon emperor roared angrily, launching another palm strike at Jiang Fan's head. "No!" Concubine Yunxia couldn't hold back anymore. She pleaded. She couldn't bear to watch Jiang Fan die before her own eyes. The sky demon emperor turned to her coldly, his eyes blazing with killing intent. "You're pleading for him? Didn't you see he nearly killed me? You're pleading for the murderer who almost killed your husband." He could hardly believe it. His most beloved concubine was pleading for the man who wanted to kill him. This made him unspeakably angry. With a grasp through the air, he pulled Concubine Yunxia over. Holding her neck tightly, he spoke viciously. "What exactly is your relationship with Jiang Fan? Speak!" Jiang Fan sighed slightly. He had told Concubine Yunxia not to act impulsively. Blood flowed continuously from his mouth as he spoke with difficulty. "Just kill me, why implicate the innocent?" He was filled with regret. It was due to his insufficient soul power that he couldn't unleash the full power of the 9 Phoenix KO Dao hairpin. Otherwise, everything would have ended here. "Shut up," the demon emperor looked at him coldly. He raised his palm, about to execute him. But then his eyes turned and he put his hand down, and let Concubine Yunxia go, speaking gloomily. "Yunxia, I don't like betrayal. Neither the body nor the heart. Now you kill him with your own hands." "What?" Concubine Yunxia's pupils contracted. She was to kill Jiang Fan with her own hands. How could she do it? "Do it?" The sky demon emperor squinted his eyes. Suspicion deepened in his eyes towards Concubine Yunxia. Concubine Yunxia's lips quivered slightly, and she moved with difficulty towards Jiang Fan. But she just couldn't bring herself to do it. "Why aren't you acting? Could it be you indeed have an affair with Jiang Fan?" The sky demon emperor's eyes shot out a dangerous gleam. Concubine Yunxia's body trembled faintly. She knew how the sky demon emperor would treat a woman who betrayed him, exterminating her entire clan. How could she possibly kill Jiang Fan? "Still not." The sky demon emperor was about to scold. Faintly, a dim light of Buddha appeared shimmering in the distance. He sneered coldly. "Little beast, you dared to stay? I plan to deal with you later. Now you don't have to leave either." He leapt towards the little Kirin. Before leaving, he gave Concubine Yunxia a cold stare. "Before I return, I want to see Jiang Fan's head. Don't disappoint me." "Yunxia." With a flick of his sleeve, a terrifying force pierced through Jiang Fan's abdomen. Crack, the golden core fragmented. Countless amounts of spiritual power gushed out. To prevent Jiang Fan from escaping with tricks, he directly destroyed Jiang Fan's cultivation. Jiang Fan grunted and collapsed to the ground. A bitter expression spread across his face. "Concubine Yunxia, do it." Jiang Fan lowered his head, smiling bitterly. Concubine Yunxia watched as the sky demon emperor left. Tears were already welling up in her eyes. "Jiang Fan, I'll take you away." She supported him. Jiang Fan waved his hand, sighing deeply. "No need, my cultivation is gone." "It doesn't matter where we go now." Concubine Yunxia felt as if needles pierced her heart. Without his cultivation, Jiang Fan had lost even the will to live, a heart like dead ashes. "You're a cripple, I'll take care of you for a lifetime. We'll find a paradise, live as ordinary people, grow old together, turn gray together." Concubine Yunxia knelt before him, pleading with tears. "I don't care about anything as long as you're alive. I beg you, Jiang Fan. I beg you to carry on, don't die, don't be foolish." Jiang Fan's voice turned hoarse. His eyes also grew moist. He was moved by this foolish woman. "If you take me away, what about your clan? The sky demon emperor will kill them all in revenge for you." He chuckled lightly, took out a horn and a horsetail whisk. "Heaven still treats me well. Gave me the chance to personally give you a gift." Concubine Yunxia looked down. It was the sky demon relic and the serenity duster. One could cleanse the evil chi within her, allowing her cultivation to proceed without hindrance. The other was an opportunity to once more reach the nascent soul. Either one could have made her happy for a long, long time in the past. But now not a trace of joy was in her heart, only sorrow. "But I don't want you dead." Tears rolled down from Concubine Yunxia's eyes. Jiang Fan gently caressed her cheek with his finger, saying, "Don't hold on to false hope. Even if I wanted to leave, could I escape the Sky Demon Emperor's pursuit? It would be futile dragging you and your clan into this mess. Kill me in exchange for the Demon Emperor's trust. Afterward, find a safe place and quietly aim for the Demon Emperor realm. In that way, my death would be worth it." He took out the purple sword. Gazing at the familiar purple sword, a hint of reluctance and nostalgia flashed in his eyes. "This sword, I obtained it at the beginning of my cultivation. Today, I end with this sword." He placed the purple sword into Concubine Yunxia's hand. "Use this sword to kill me." "No, no." Concubine Yunxia shook her head repeatedly, tears streaming down. "You want me to kill you? How could I bring myself to do it?" Jiang Fan took her by the shoulders, gently shaking her, weakly saying, "Listen to me. I have no way out. Dying by your hand would be a relief. When the Demon Emperor returns and finds you haven't killed me, he'll vent his anger on me, torturing me to death." "Do you want to see such a scene?" Concubine Yunxia's body trembled. She knew the Sky Demon Emperor too well. He would definitely vent his anger on Jiang Fan, torment him cruelly, making his life worse than death. Killing Jiang Fan now is helping him. "But I actually have to kill the one I love myself." She shakily gripped the purple sword, looking at Jiang Fan, who smiled and slowly closed his eyes. Her heart felt like it was being pierced by a cold knife, stirring violently within. The pain made her unable to breathe. An intense hatred began to rise in her heart. Sky Demon Emperor? She had never hated anyone before. Not even the Sky Demon Emperor, blocking her path to becoming a Demon Emperor, she didn't hate. Forcing her into marriage, she also didn't hate. But at this moment, she hated him like never before, tightly gripping the purple sword, eyes filled with hatred, forcing me to kill the one I love. Sky Demon Emperor. I swear to the heavens, I will kill you. I will make you accompany Jiang Fan in death. Then she raised the purple sword. With a face full of tears, she swung it towards Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan, wait for me to kill the Sky Demon Emperor and come to accompany you. A sword descended, cold light scattering in all directions. The sea waves shimmered under the sun, like a fragment of a broken memory, each telling a different story from different times, on the other side of the vast sea. The little Kirin ran desperately across the sea. Its fur was dull, with a piece of its ear missing. Blood continuously flowed out. It glanced back from time to time, its clear eyes filled with hatred and full of despair. It used its spatial abilities to flee with all its might, but still couldn't escape the pursuit of the Sky Demon Emperor. Behind, the silhouette of the Sky Demon Emperor was now visible to the naked eye. Master, I'm sorry, sob. The master had given it a chance to escape, but it did not leave as the master instructed. Soon it would be caught. It would die like its master, thinking that the master might have already died. Tears blurred its vision. Sobbing, it kept its head down, running forward. Suddenly, it bumped into a pair of legs. The round body flipped over several times, looking up. A middle-aged man in a purple-blue robe with clear features and a faint smile stood with arms crossed over the sea. The water beneath him was as calm as a mirror. No matter how the sea winds blew around, they couldn't stir a single ripple. Poor little one. The middle-aged man reached out a hand. An invisible force wrapped the little Kirin, lifting it gently. As his hand lightly brushed over the little Kirin's body, its dull fur regained its luster at a visible speed. The bleeding from its ear quickly stopped and healed. The little Kirin blinked. Instinct told it that this person seemed very powerful. Splashing in the distance, waves crashed against the sky. The figure of the Sky Demon Emperor rushed over. Upon noticing the little Kirin in someone's arms, his expression grew harsh and he unhesitatingly struck from a distance. A nascent soul strike, how destructive it was. An immense tsunami surged over in an instant. However, what made the Sky Demon Emperor's pupils constrict was the tsunami split in two, sweeping past the man on both sides. It didn't affect him in the slightest. A familiar voice came from that man's figure. Sky Demon Emperor, it's just a junior, why make such a fuss? The Sky Demon Emperor was shocked. Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master, why are you here? The little Kirin opened its mouth in surprise. So the man in the purple-blue robe was the legendary Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master. He had even crossed the continent to arrive here. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master smiled slightly. I heard a junior from the human clan was captured by your clan. I'm here to take him back. Please allow it, Sky Demon Emperor." The Sky Demon Emperor's face turned somber. "You came here for Jiang Fan? Then he deserves to die even more. To have alarmed the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master to come such a long distance to save him. It showed how much value Jiang Fan held. Never had it been heard that the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master personally came to rescue anyone. Jiang Fan was the only one. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master gently placed the little Kirin down, smiling with ease. "So he isn't dead yet. I wasn't too late." The Sky Demon Emperor snorted coldly. "That depends on whether you have the ability to take him away." With that, purple energy soared into the sky. A giant beast silhouette resembling a Kirin in 3 parts appeared behind. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master nodded slightly. "Very well, last time we didn't settle it." Boom, the vast sea tore apart, and the sky quaked. A battle broke out fiercely between a demon emperor and a nascent soul over the ocean. Elsewhere, the purple sword was poised at Jiang Fan's neck. The sharp sword Qi left a bloody line on his neck. Blood pearls slowly seeped out, but the sword could not cut down further. Jiang Fan opened his eyes, puzzled. "Why did you stop?" Concubine Yunxia looked at her arm holding the sword. Strands of pink energy flowed from her abdomen, coiling tightly around her arm. "My hand, it's out of control." Huh. Jiang Fan examined the pink energy, suddenly finding it familiar. "Is this the force entangled in your body?" Concubine Yunxia felt it carefully, saying, "Yes." "The soul-nourishing pill, a gift from Spirit Sound Priest. After taking it, this force wouldn't leave my body." Under normal circumstances, she would be very alarmed. Now her heart felt like dead ashes and her face bore only sadness. But soon, she finally sensed something wrong, and a tint of unbearable color gradually emerged on her face. She tugged at her collar, breathing slightly rapidly, saying, "Jiang Fan, why do I feel so hot?" Jiang Fan's eyes gradually widened. His breathing quickened, his face flushed, his gaze dazed. This symptom, he could hardly believe his own judgment. Could it be that his 6 harmonies immortal had leaked out? He hurriedly checked. He found the ceiling intact, showing no signs of leaking. Phew, Concubine Yunxia felt increasingly hot. From her rosy little mouth, she exhaled waves of hot air. She splashed a wave of icy seawater on herself, trying to cool her burning body. But it was to no avail. Her body was like a kettle that had boiled dry. No longer a single drop of water, yet still intensely heated by the fierce flames, scorching hot all over, desperately needing to be filled with water to cool down. As her body temperature rose, pink spots appeared layer upon layer on her skin. 2 flushes of red spread from her earlobes across her entire face. Her hand could no longer grip the sword, soft and weak. "Jiang Fan, what's wrong with me?" She realized something was terribly wrong with her body. Jiang Fan wore a strange expression, hesitating as he said, You've been aphrodisiacally induced." "What?" Concubine Yunxia's countenance changed dramatically. "APH, aphrodisiacally induced?" She was a bit panicked. She had never thought this word would apply to her. After all, she was a powerful figure, having reached 9th layer perfection of core formation and even challenged the Demon Emperor realm. More importantly, she held the status of a Demon Emperor concubine. Who would dare use such a thing on her? Yet she truly fell for it. Thinking of that pink force within her, she suspected. Is it the Spirit Sound Priest? Did she add aphrodisiac elements in that soul-nourishing pill? What does she want to do? Jiang Fan also wore a peculiar expression, though he had suspected there might be an issue with that spirit pill. But who would have thought it would be an aphrodisiac? "Jiang Fan, your human clan understands pharmacology better. Can you help me dispel it?" Concubine Yunxia's mind was indeed a bit troubled. She didn't want to show that shameful posture in front of Jiang Fan. If so, she'd rather die. Jiang Fan nodded slightly. "I can only take a look first. No guarantee of dispelling the aphrodisiac components." Some low-level aphrodisiacs can be forced out with spiritual power. Some complex ones, like the 6 harmonies immortal kind, can even affect a nascent soul, leaving him helpless. As for what's in Concubine Yunxia's body, Jiang Fan was not confident. Considering her power, any drug capable of affecting her was probably not of low grade. However, let's try first. Extend your hand. I'll infuse spiritual power to probe the drug components. Concubine Yunxia hurriedly extended her arm. Her exposed fair wrist was like a piece of rosy jade, incredibly alluring. Jiang Fan held her wrist and sent a strand of spiritual power into it, about to explore the situation within her body. Suddenly, he abruptly retracted his hand. Looking closely, A wisp of pink air flowed from Concubine Yunxia's wrist, entwined with Jiang Fan's hand, and quickly seeped into his body. "You're hit too," Concubine Yunxia exclaimed, inwardly feeling bad. If one person is hit, the other can find a way, but if both are hit, what then? Jiang Fan was also startled. He hurriedly mobilized his spiritual power, trying to expel this pink force from his body. What was strange? The pink force ignored Jiang Fan's spiritual power and drilled deeper into his body. Jiang Fan was slightly surprised. Then he mobilized the void flow thunder force, trying to scatter it. But what concerned Jiang Fan was the void flow thunder force was also ignored by it. In the end, Jiang Fan directly summoned the poison pill. The terrifying poison quickly circulated throughout his body. No matter how bizarre the pink force, it should not withstand such violent poison, right? Yet, what started to alarm Jiang Fan was the poison only made the pink force pause for a moment, then it surged through his body even faster. In an instant, Jiang Fan's body showed strange symptoms. He too started heating up. Like a pot of boiling water, steam rising, needing to find a place to empty the hot water. Soon, his face also showed an unusual redness. Concubine Yunxia covered her mouth, took a few steps back, and said tremblingly, You also can't cleanse it." Jiang Fan forced himself to remain calm and said, "This doesn't seem to be some kind of drug component. It's a very difficult force to resist," feeling his body becoming increasingly hot. His consciousness also gradually became a bit blurred. He sensed something was wrong. Seeing Concubine Yunxia close at hand, that slender figure, a waist that couldn't even fill a palm, the curved and upright front, he felt a strong impulse rising. Looking again at that face as beautiful as a painting, like an immortal beauty descending from the heavens. His breathing started to quicken. He resolutely patted his cheeks, trying to calm himself down. Yet this pink force was too strong. Jiang Fan could not control the impulse in his heart at all. Grinding his teeth, he shouted low, "Kill me quickly. I seem to be losing control of myself. I don't want to hurt you." Upon seeing Concubine Yunxia hesitate, Jiang Fan said sternly, "I am destined to die anyway. Do it." Only then did Concubine Yunxia stagger over, raising the sword to cut down. But just as the thought arose, more pink force surged from her abdomen, scattering most of her mind. With a clang, the purple sword slipped and fell into the vast sea. The clarity in her eyes was being overwhelmingly invaded by daze. "Jiang Fan, this pink force seems to arise because of you. The moment I harbor a killing intent, it grows stronger." Recalling its onset was exactly when she was about to slay Jiang Fan. It confirmed. The power left by the spirit sound priest in Concubine Yunxia's body was set against harboring a killing intent towards Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan was taken aback. For me, what does she want to do? He had never even met spirit sound priest. Why set such a trap? Concubine Yunxia's breathing became more rapid, gazing at Jiang Fan with eyes full of desire. But the remaining consciousness kept urging her back. No, I can't do this. I'm the demon emperor's concubine, a married woman. I can't do this. She could be with Jiang Fan, but not with someone else's wife as her identity. Otherwise, she would despise herself, and Jiang Fan would despise her too. If she were to give, it should be given clearly and purely to Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan also tried hard to suppress the impulse, forcing himself to be calm. Grinding his teeth, he called back the purple sword from the sea, stabbing it towards his own body. "Enough, I'll do it myself." If it continues like this, something irreversible will eventually happen between the two of them. In that case, the Sky Demon Emperor would be so angry that he would kill Concubine Yunxia and her entire clan. "No!" Seeing Jiang Fan attempting self-harm, Concubine Yunxia instinctively lunged over. She grabbed Jiang Fan's arm. Even this slight touch was like flames cooking oil. The pink force erupted entirely. In an instant, Jiang Fan's rationality was dispersed. His eyes were filled with desire and heat. With a low growl, he pressed Concubine Yunxia down beneath him. Concubine Yunxia struggled to push him away and urgently said, "Jiang Fan, don't do this. I don't want to give myself to you as the Demon Emperor's concubine. In the next life, I'll be yours, okay?" But when Jiang Fan activated the 9 Phoenix KO Dao hairpin, he had already exhausted his soul power. He was no longer as resolute as before. Pressing down on her, he kissed her forehead, cheeks, and ears. Concubine Yunxia shivered as if she had been electrocuted, her delicate body trembling continuously. Her hands, which were pushing Jiang Fan away, became soft and weak. Seeing that the two were inevitably about to make a mistake, tears streamed down her cheeks and she cried. Spirit Sound Priest, why are you doing this? This will make Jiang Fan bear the infamy of occupying someone else's wife. What jolted her spirit was. The ethereal and dreamlike voice of the Spirit Sound Priest suddenly appeared in her mind. I need Jiang Fan to live for now. I don't want you to kill him. Concubine Yunxia was taken aback. She looked around, but there was no sign of the spirit sound, yet her voice could reach directly into her mind. You are unreasonable. How do you know for sure that I will definitely be the one to kill Jiang Fan? Anyone could be. Are you going to apply this shameless power to everyone in the demon race? She tried to convey her thoughts in her mind. The spirit sound's dreamy voice echoed again. The demon emperor cannot allow his concubine to have an affair with another man. And you are the one who has the deepest contact with Jiang Fan. It's that simple. Concubine Yunxia opened her mouth but was left speechless. In her heart, she knew clearly. In fact, the Sky Demon Emperor had already harbored some suspicion between Jiang Fan and her. After all, Concubine Yunxia had been captured by Jiang Fan for so long. What man wouldn't have a bit of a grudge in his heart? So even without today's events, the Sky Demon Emperor would still have Concubine Yunxia personally kill Jiang Fan. Only then could he dispel his suspicions. The Spirit Sound Priest saw through everything, and thus sent over a soul-nourishing pill. The current situation also confirmed her suspicions. At this moment, Jiang Fan became even more wanton on her. Concubine Yunxia struggled to resist, feeling both ashamed and angry. But there's no need to stop me from killing him in this way, right? You could injure me, or even let me die. Why make Jiang Fan carry a bad reputation? The Spirit Sound Priest said calmly. If the Sky Demon Emperor knew you coupled with Jiang Fan, what would be the fate of your people? Concubine Yunxia's pupils contracted. The outcome was self-explanatory. The Sky Demon Emperor would be furious and massacre the Silver Fox clan, leaving no one alive. Spirit Sound, you are shameless, she never imagined. The soul-nourishing pill sent by the Spirit Sound Priest was actually a setup for such a plot. Today's events would become leverage against her and the entire Silver Fox clan. If she disobeyed the Spirit Sound Priest's orders, the price would be the downfall of her clan. The Spirit Sound Priest said calmly, I only need you to keep Jiang Fan alive. I'm not interested in anything else. At that moment, Concubine Yunxia's expression suddenly changed. Jiang Fan's hand reached toward her bosom. Frightened, she hurriedly held Jiang Fan's hand down, urgently saying, Spirit Sound, stop all of this. Don't let Jiang Fan and me make a mistake. Even if nothing happens between Jiang Fan and me, I will protect him with my life. There's no need for all this. The Spirit Sound Priest's ethereal voice gradually faded from her mind. I still trust having more leverage. Besides, I advise you to surrender to Jiang Fan. Your divinity transformation blood essence can repair his golden core. Just enjoy it in peace. The Sky Demon Emperor is very busy now and won't disturb you. The last word drifted off distantly, as if she was already far away. Concubine Yunxia was stunned. Could the divinity transformation blood essence inside her really restore Jiang Fan's damaged golden core? Looking at Jiang Fan's face so close to hers. Recalling the moment his cultivation was crippled, the expression of dead despair on Jiang Fan's face. Her heart ached immensely. In your eyes, does the martial path mean more than life? Concubine Yunxia murmured softly. The resistance in her heart vanished at this moment. What about being a married woman? What about the idea of fidelity? If Jiang Fan could regain his spirit and be happy, what did it matter if she bore a lifetime of guilt? Gazing into Jiang Fan's eyes, she showed a helpless yet shy, bitter smile. You little nemesis. In the end, I couldn't escape your grasp. From being bound by him to being searched to him barging in on her bath and finally to sleeping in the same bed overnight. Each time left her at her wit's end. At one point, she suspected Jiang Fan was the bane of her existence. Now there's no need to doubt. Jiang Fan is indeed her nemesis, and he has completely conquered her. Even the fidelity she once thought she would never abandon, she willingly let go for him. She slowly released her jade hand pressed against her chest, allowing Jiang Fan's hand to intrude roughly deeper. The white silken bodice rose and fell in irregular waves. Beneath the taut fabric, Jiang Fan's rolling fingers were outlined like a dragon in motion. They were like untamed beasts, recklessly and powerfully conquering. Feeling the madness in her embrace, Concubine Yunxia was filled with uncontrollable shame. Her dazed consciousness fully succumbed to the delirium. Jiang Fan, she called softly, actively extending her snowy arms, unwrapping Jiang Fan's neck. Meanwhile, the Sky Demon Emperor in fierce battle sensed something, Uneasily, he looked back. His chest felt inexplicably uncomfortable, stifled, and restless. This gave him a bad premonition. Could it be that Concubine Yunxia's attempt to kill Jiang Fan had taken a turn? At this thought, he halted and said, "Stop! Fighting you any further is meaningless. Why not go and see first? If Jiang Fan is dead, fighting you till the sky falls is useless. If he's still alive, it's not too late to fight for him then." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master nodded slightly. "All right." The Sky Demon Emperor breathed a sigh of relief and turned to rush back. The bad premonition in his heart grew stronger. He had a vague feeling that something very bad might be happening. He had to hurry back to confirm it. But, just as he turned around, 2 straight bolts of lightning shot directly at him. The Sky Demon Emperor decisively turned back, punching them apart in annoyance. "What do you mean by this?" The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's eyes were filled with lightning. With a faint smile on his face, "Your urgency indicates that things are beyond your control. That means Jiang Fan is safe right now, so I cannot let you go." The Sky Demon Emperor raged. "Yun Tianzhu, don't provoke me." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's gaze cooled slightly, the faint smile on his face vanishing, replaced by a touch of indifference. "Already angered. When you used the lives of our human clan to suppress the priestly lineage, weakening the demon race tribes, did you consider the feelings of the human clan? And now it's just hindering you a little and you're furious. Today, the more anxious you are, the less I will let you leave." With a crackling sound, his eyes shot out 2 terrifying bolts of thunder light once again. The Sky Demon Emperor was burning with anger, anxious, yet had no choice but to fight. Before him was the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master, the ruler of half the continent. He was not the Jiden Juniors he could handle easily. One mishap and he could fall here, and the source of his intense anxiety, on the tumultuous vast sea. Concubine Yunxia had been stripped down to just a silver bustier that only half covered her. A beautifully crafted moon-white lotus was embroidered on it, with the rise and fall of her chest. The lotus flower swayed as if in the wind. Jiang Fan's gaze that was so intense it felt like it would melt her. "Jiang Fan, I'm scared." At the last moment, she became slightly more sober. Jiang Fan roughly removed her hands. With a strong pull, he tore away the final bustier. The 2 faced each other in the most candid way, with Jiang Fan's eyes burning to the extreme. An irrepressible desire drove him to embrace Concubine Yunxia's tender body. He forcefully plunged in. Concubine Yunxia's charming eyes widened. A long, tender cry escaped her lips. Jiang Lang, her hands tightly grasped Jiang Fan's arms. Nervous fingers left bloody marks on his arms. Clouds were silent. Waves rolled. Fish curiously watched above the sea. 2 snow-white blurry shadows entangled with each other, undulating rhythmically like waves, on the distant battlefield. The Sky Demon Emperor felt a sudden pain in his chest. Something went wrong. It was something extremely bad. He struck away the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master with a palm and said anxiously, "Yun Tianzhu, I don't care about Jiang Fan anymore. Stop bothering me." As a member of the demon race, he was naturally very sensitive to the perception of all things. Certain major events would cause them to have a subtle feeling in the mind, and the chest pain, this kind of feeling, was no longer subtle. It was sounding an alarm, so he couldn't care about Jiang Fan anymore. He had to go back and take a look. Yun Tianzhu pondered for a moment but still activated Thunder Light. "Sorry, I can't let you go." The same words again. The more anxious the Demon Emperor was, the safer Jiang Fan would be. Holding up the Demon Emperor could buy Jiang Fan more space. "Yun Tianzhu." The Sky Demon Emperor was furious and launched a frenzied counterattack, trying to drive Yun Tianzhu back. But Yun Tianzhu, who could lead the human clan, was not a character like Xuanyang who could be easily suppressed by him. The 2 fought fiercely, and for a while it was hard to tell who would win. After a 2-hour period, the wind stopped, the waves were calm. A soft bed made of 9 snow-white foxtails quietly floated on the sea. On Concubine Yunxia's snow-white flawless skin, a few marks remained. Some were red kiss marks, some were bruises from collisions, and others were shallow palm marks from slaps. Jiang Fan sat there dazed, his eyes unfocused. He couldn't believe what he had done to Concubine Yunxia, and did it so wildly. He ravaged her like a beast. At this moment, a piece of clothing was draped over his back. A gentle voice sounded by his ear, "Don't catch a cold." The golden core was just repaired, the body is still weak, turning his head to look. On the breathtakingly beautiful face, there was sweetness and tenderness. Jiang Fan, full of guilt, said, "Concubine Yunxia, I'm sorry, Concubine Yunxia extended her slender jade finger, gently blocking his mouth. Softly said, "Are you still calling me concubine? I am already yours, my person." Jiang Fan's body trembled slightly. A deep sense of guilt and responsibility surged in his heart simultaneously. He corrected himself, saying, Yunxia." Concubine Yunxia smiled slightly. The jade hand wrapped around Jiang Fan's waist from behind, her soft body pressed against his back. Her chin rested on his shoulder, as if wanting to merge with Jiang Fan, never to part again. "Jiang Lang," she softly whispered, "I know you have a fiancé. I won't compete for any status with her. Just hope you remember me in the future. Don't forget me." "Okay," her voice carried a tinge of pleading. When Jiang Fan returned to the human clan, he would be lost in the crowd, vanishing in a moment. This life they may never meet again, and Jiang Fan was never in want of women around him. Would he still remember her, a woman with a husband? Jiang Fan's heart moved slightly. Now that things had come to this, was he still going to run away? He turned around, embraced her in his arms, and sat down, saying, "You are my first woman, how can I forget?" Concubine Yunxia's eyes widened. "How is that possible? Liu Li's belly is already so big." Jiang Fan's mouth twitched, saying, "I've never touched her at all. She was poisoned, causing a bloated stomach, that's all." Even with Concubine Yunxia's cleverness, she was stunned for a good while. The rumor of the Demon Emperor's daughter's pregnancy causing such a scandal was actually such a big misunderstanding. But on second thought, she felt relieved. "I said, if you were really a lecher who takes advantage of others. When you captured me back then, why didn't you do anything to me?" She solved a doubt in her heart. Then her eyes shimmered with brilliance, her heart pounded. "So I really am your first woman?" Jiang Fan said. "Truer than a pearl." Concubine Yunxia was full of joy. She hugged Jiang Fan's waist and nestled deep into his arms. "Jiang Lang, I like you so much." Looking at her obedient demeanor, Jiang Fan felt a wave of emotion. Is this still the Concubine Yunxia who used to be so aloof, like being above the clouds? Now she was so attached to him. This gave him an inexplicable sense of accomplishment. His heart rippled slightly, and a flicker of flame reignited in his belly. Concubine Yunxia noticed, raising her eyes shyly. "Jiang Lang, you," Jiang Fan said. "I still want more." Concubine Yunxia blushed and nodded lightly. She proactively crawled out of Jiang Fan's embrace, then bent over and knelt on the ground. Shyly turned her head and asked, "Like this, is it okay?" Such docility made Jiang Fan feel even more parched. He grasped her slender waist with both hands, pushed hard from behind. After another 2-hour period, Jiang Fan was exhausted. Concubine Yunxia gently dressed him, speaking softly, "Jiang Lang, you worked hard." Jiang Fan touched her slightly weary face, filled with affection in his heart. What virtue, what capability, to deserve the favor of such a gentle beauty. "Thank you, Yunxia." Not only did he use the divinity transformation blood essence within Yunxia to repair the golden core again, but also the golden core expanded and grew a whole circle. His cultivation level leapt from the 5th level of core formation to the 6th level of core formation. His injuries were completely healed. Concubine Yunxia's eyes were filled with Jiang Fan's figure. Softly she said, "So long as Jiang Lang is happy, Yunxia will be content." Finally, she tidied Jiang Fan's hair crown. Seeing Jiang Fan radiant and revitalized again, Concubine Yunxia was extremely satisfied. Whatever she would face next, she would have no regrets. "Jiang Lang, you should leave." Jiang Fan was taken aback. The atmosphere suddenly became heavy. He held Concubine Yunxia's hand, saying, "Come back to the human clan with me. I'll find a way to relocate the Silver Fox clan back to the human clan territory." Concubine Yunxia gently shook her head. "Don't worry about us. You should go." Migrating the Silver Fox clan, aside from whether they were willing or not. Even if they were willing, there wasn't enough time. When the Sky Demon Emperor returned and found out Jiang Fan escaped, he definitely wouldn't let her or the Silver Fox clan tribe off easily. Whether she left with Jiang Fan was not an option. Neither was staying, at this moment. A fluffy figure poked out from beneath the sea. "Little Kirin," Jiang Fan was shocked. "Didn't the Sky Demon Emperor chase after you?" The Sky Demon Emperor had been gone so long, he thought he was chasing little Kirin. Now it seemed the Sky Demon Emperor was being held up by something. "Master," little Kirin with teary eyes threw itself into Jiang Fan's arms excitedly. "I thought I'd never see you again." "Woo, woo, woo," Jiang Fan's heart warmed. He comforted it for a while and then learned from its mouth about the heavenly mechanism pavilion master coming to save him. Immediately his eyes lit up, saying, "Yunxia, you just tell him it was people from the heavenly mechanism pavilion who saved me away." Then the Demon Emperor won't suspect. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master was originally here to save Jiang Fan, bringing several strong fighters to rescue him from Concubine Yunxia's hands. That made perfect sense. Concubine Yunxia also breathed a long sigh of relief. The biggest hidden worry in her heart could be lifted. She urged, "Then Jiang Lang, leave quickly. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master has been delaying for so long. The longer this drags on, the more likely something changes." Jiang Fan nodded solemnly. He stared at Concubine Yunxia's face, unwilling to leave. Thinking for a moment, he said, "You first remove the evil qi. Clear obstacles for breaking through to the Demon Emperor realm. I will refine the Bodhi pill as quickly as possible to increase your chances of breaking through to the Demon Emperor realm." Concubine Yunxia was delighted. "Can we still meet again?" She even overlooked the implication that Jiang Fan could practice alchemy. Jiang Fan nodded. Concubine Yunxia's eyes lit up with brilliance and expectation, saying, "Great, great. Then leave quickly. We'll meet again later." Jiang Fan reluctantly gazed at her deeply. Decisively, with little Kirin, he departed using cloud shadow. Concubine Yunxia's gaze was fixed in the direction they disappeared, unable to recover for a long while. At this moment, at the end of the world, monstrous waves soared. The injured Sky Demon Emperor hurried back. From a distance, I could see Concubine Yunxia was still there. The heart that had been hanging in suspense finally settled down. He feared Yunxia had been captured or killed. "Where is Jiang Fan?" the Sky Demon Emperor immediately asked. Concubine Yunxia, her heart filled with trepidation, replied, "He was rescued by people from the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion." Even she wasn't sure if this reason would truly convince the Sky Demon Emperor. Who knew? The Sky Demon Emperor nodded his chin slightly, easily believing it. "No wonder Yun Tianzhu keeps pestering me. I guessed he sent someone to rescue you." Suddenly, the Sky Demon Emperor noticed a blood-red mark on the tail behind Concubine Yunxia. Concubine Yunxia turned her head to look. She was so frightened that her face turned pale. Blood marks. She had actually forgotten about it. Her heart sank to the bottom. She could already imagine the expression of anger on the Demon Emperor's face. "Are you injured? Is it serious?" Unexpectedly, the Demon Emperor hadn't recognized it. Concubine Yunxia's heart was about to shatter from fright. She quickly tucked away her tail, pressing down on her wildly thumping heart, trying to remain calm, and said, "Got stabbed a bit. Just a minor wound." The Sky Demon Emperor didn't pay much attention, because he never thought Concubine Yunxia would do anything to betray him. Firstly, Concubine Yunxia's character was evident. As long as she was the Demon Emperor's concubine for a day, she wouldn't submit to another man. Secondly, she possessed divinity transformation blood essence within her. Even if someone tried to use force, the result would be that they would be killed by the divinity transformation blood essence. Therefore, he was particularly assured of Concubine Yunxia's purity. What unsettled him was the thought that she might give her heart to someone else. "Did anything happen here?" The Sky Demon Emperor frowned and said, "I felt a very ominous premonition just now. Something extremely bad must have happened." Concubine Yunxia's heart, which had just settled, was once again on edge. She shook her head slightly and said, "Nothing aside from a confrontation with experts from the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion." The Sky Demon Emperor pondered. This little event shouldn't have caused such a foreboding ache in his chest. Suddenly, a world-shaking roar came from the land. The Sky Demon Emperor's face changed. "How could I forget about that creature? The Hell Beast. If it emerged, not just the continent, but the four seas would be destroyed." Just then, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master was also pursuing the Sky Demon Emperor to this place. The enormous commotion made his eyes heavy with concern. "Isn't this the Hell Beast your Tiger Demon Emperor once sealed?" The Sky Demon Emperor snorted heavily through his nostrils. "And it's all because of your human clan's Jiang Fan. If he hadn't barged into the inner sanctum, nothing would have happened." Concubine Yunxia, however, said, "Demon Emperor, it was Yan Daeon from Jiangshan first-class building. He sneaked in." "What?" The Sky Demon Emperor was greatly shocked. If someone in the core formation realm entered, he would already be worried. Someone in the nascent soul realm entering made him even more uneasy. "Is it the bamboo hat man with the pill book silver scroll?" The Sky Demon Emperor's gaze flashed, immediately locking on the target. Concubine Yunxia nodded and said, "He had many pill book silver scrolls. He took many treasures. He also tried to kill Jiang Fan and me. But his luck ran out and he was eaten by the Hell Beast." Upon hearing the first half, the Sky Demon Emperor's face darkened. He was most worried about those treasures being exposed. Upon learning he was eaten again, his hanging heart was mostly settled. Then what happened to the stuff on him? Didn't you and Jiang Fan take it? Concubine Yunxia's face remained calm as she said, "That was the hell beast. Even if you were the demon emperor, would you dare to take it back?" In the past, she would have felt guilty for deceiving the sky demon emperor. Now, not anymore. From the moment the sky demon emperor forced her to kill Jiang Fan, the sky demon emperor became an enemy. Upon hearing this, the sky demon emperor thought for a moment as well. No matter how many tricks Jiang Fan had, he couldn't snatch food from a tiger's mouth. In the presence of the hell beast, forget Jiang Fan, even he would be instantly killed. Thinking of this, he fully relaxed. The only trouble was, this hell beast had emerged. If it rampaged through the demon race's territory, then the consequences, sweat formed on his forehead. Perhaps he might escape the hell beast's pursuit, but the rest of the demon race would become its food. Yun Tianzhu, upon hearing the process, his face was extremely serious. Although the hell beast was still within demon race territory, if left unchecked, it would eventually threaten the human clan. Thinking about it, he shouted from a distance, "Sky Demon Emperor, in the face of a great enemy, meaningless wars can be paused. We should unite with the Sea Demon clan and eradicate this beast together." The Sky Demon Emperor had the same thought. His vision wasn't as broad as Yun Tianzhu's. He felt it would be embarrassing to bring it up first. Now that Yun Tianzhu proposed it, he went along with it and said, "I was thinking the same. The hell beast isn't like the ancient giant. Killing an ancient giant has huge rewards. The outer realm divine sex experts will come of their own accord without asking. But the hell beast is dangerous, and killing it has no benefits. Even if we begged them to help, they wouldn't pay any attention. We have to rely on ourselves," Yun Tianzhu said. "Good. Both sides. Send envoys as soon as possible to contact the 4 major sea demon clans. Then gather all our strength to slay this beast." Concubine Yunxia was secretly excited. The human clan and demon race were going to stop fighting. Great. This was exceptionally good news. With the human and demon clans forming an alliance, didn't that mean she'd have a better chance of seeing Jiang Fan? Thinking about this, her heart was filled with anticipation. As for Jiang Fan, chasing stars and moon along the way, he finally reached the boundary between the human and demon clans after half a month. Boundary Mountain. From a distance, Jiang Fan vaguely saw figures moving on the Boundary Mountain. They were the elite disciples of each sect patrolling. He was excited and headed toward the Boundary Mountain quickly. Tweet! Suddenly, a cold wind swept by. A pitch-black iron ball came hurtling in from the side. Jiang Fan slipped his shoulder and easily dodged it. Boom! The iron ball exploded violently not far behind him. Ouyang Jun's explosive hidden weapon? Jiang Fan was startled. Why attack one's own allies? But lowering his head, he realized. In order to cross the demon race territory without being recognized, he had donned a black robe over his entire body. Not only his body, but even his face was covered tightly. Such a peculiar person, coming from the demon race's heartland. It's no wonder he was mistaken for a demon race. He was about to take off his hat to clear up the misunderstanding. But then, a mischievous thought occurred to him. He took out the Mirage Demon Pill, placed it in his mouth, and simulated demonic energy. Sure, let's see how Ouyang Jun has improved this past month. HMPH, thinking you can wound me with this little hidden weapon? Jiang Fan lowered his voice to sound very sinister. Behind an ice sculpture, Ouyang Jun's face was serious. Can speak the human clan language. You are an elite of the demon race? As he spoke, another few hidden weapons were thrown out. Jiang Fan coldly smiled with a swing of his fists. Even without using the Brahma Saint True Spirit technique, his punch was immensely powerful. He effortlessly blasted the hidden weapons apart in midair. Then, not giving Ouyang Jun another chance to throw weapons. With a push of his feet, he broke through space to attack. His speed was so fast that it created a sonic boom. Ouyang Jun shivered and rolled to the side, shouting, "Attack!" Clang! A 3-foot green peak sword suddenly thrust from behind an iceberg. The swordsmanship was plain, but it had a profound, returning twinessence atmosphere. Jiang Fan considered himself skilled in the sword Dao, yet he was impressed. Could it be a senior from the Myriad Sword sect? Just then, upon seeing the person wielding the sword, Jiang Fan was stunned. She was only 18, wearing a dress in a well-fitted azure blue. Her posture was graceful, slender, and elegant. Her stunning beauty possessed a picturesque allure. Her expression was very calm, as if nothing could stir her emotions, even when engaged in battle. Wasn't this Xia Caoj? Who else could it be? Disappointing Jiang Fan smiled faintly. She's still the same as ever. Just right, let's also see how her cultivation has progressed. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but smile mischievously and said, "Little beauty, you're quite pretty, huh? How about I just take you back today?" Xianxia's willow eyebrows moved slightly. "You can speak the human clan's language. Demon race elite." Jiang Fan chuckled and said, "Yes, I am nobility of the demon race. Come with me and you'll enjoy wealth and honor, high status." "Why bother being a disciple?" Xianxia's face was calm just now. In an instant, it was covered with frost. The swordsmanship in her hand suddenly became incredibly fierce. "Then you go die?" Hiss, the 3-foot green peak quivered, and several blue sword shadows leapt out, encircling Jiang Fan. They coordinated with the sword in Xianxia's hand, attacking from all angles. Incredibly magical. Jiang Fan was secretly astonished. After not seeing each other for a month, how did Xianxia learn a completely new move he had never seen before? This level, I'm afraid it's already at the Earth-level lower tier. He didn't dare to be careless. He treated it seriously. Within him, a roar filled the air, and his pair of fists made the air explode, shattering all the sword shadows surrounding him. Then he pulled out a massive wolf fang club 5 zhang long, swinging it around. Hiss, the tremendously oppressive wolf fang club struck at Xianxia 3 kai away. He thought she would dodge backwards. Who knew? She casually stuck on a Jidan 8th layer defensive talisman onto herself, and charged head-on against the wolf fang club's strike to stab straight in. Jiang Fan's eyelid twitched. Is she crazy? This is a mutual destruction fighting style. It's not a final battle, nor a life and death struggle forced into a corner. Why go to such lengths? Xianxia wasn't like this before at all. Where did her calmness go? Only a month without seeing her, and her combat ability has plummeted. Jiang Fan was quite disappointed. Resolutely put away the wolf fang club, formed a hand seal with one hand, and pointed at the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. Hiss, the 5 magnetic divine light immediately erupted, covering a 3 zhang radius around it. With Xianxia's do-or-die fighting attitude, how could she dodge in time? She was covered by the divine light on the spot. All her spiritual power and physique power were completely lost. Her body fell down, limp. Jiang Fan grabbed her throat, saying, "Little beauty, is that all you got?" Xianxia's eyes remained sharp. Suddenly, a mysterious light flashed from her palm, striking Jiang Fan's chest without warning. Even Jiang Fan was startled. It was the first time he encountered someone who could counterattack under the 5 magnetic divine light. This mysterious light. It's either the void flow 5 forces, or a kind of power even the 5 elements divine monarch couldn't comprehend. Fortunately, at this moment, Xianxia had lost her power and her strike was slow and weak. With a flick of Jiang Fan's sleeve, the light in her palm was sent flying away. The light drifted and fell onto a distant iceberg. Boom! A powerful explosion, comparable to Jidan 8th layer, leveled the iceberg to the ground, leaving behind a crater several zhang deep. Hiss! Jiang Fan was secretly shocked for one ray of light to have such power. If it had hit the body earlier, even with armor protection, it wouldn't have felt good, would it? "Little beauty, you do have some tricks." He grabbed Xianxia's hands, pulling her into his embrace, and with the other hand held her neck. Xianxia tried to struggle with her feet, but was too weak to stand. Limp in Jiang Fan's arms, besides fierceness, her eyes now carried a hint of humiliation and anger. "Senior brother Aoyang, kill me. Don't let him defile me." Realizing neither of them could defeat this person and she might be captured and defiled, Xianxia remained calm and resolute. Jiang Fan shook his head. Her behavior was truly disappointing, in danger to so easily seek a drastic end. Aoyang Jun anxiously fired a signal flare into the sky, saying, "Junior sister Xia, don't worry. This is the Boundary Mountain and the 9 sect Supreme Elders are stationed here. He can't escape." A purple smoke flare conspicuously shot up to the clouds. Several powerful figures swiftly leapt down from the Boundary Mountain, heading this way. The test naturally ended here. Otherwise, a real misunderstanding could happen later. If I really were a demon, Aoyang Jun would already be dead without even the chance to fire a flare. And you, Xianxia, would have been secretly taken away. He restored his voice. Aoyang Jun's expression froze, staring at Jiang Fan unblinkingly. You are." Jiang Fan released Xianxia, took off his hat, revealing his appearance. "Ah, junior brother Jiang." Aoyang Jun was so shocked his jaw dropped. He rubbed his eyes hard, not believing what he saw. Xianxia was also stunned. The moment that voice appeared, her delicate body trembled lightly, her pupils contracted violently. "You're really Jiang Fan?" She dared not look back, lest the hope in her heart be shattered. It was impossible for Jiang Fan to still be alive, given his performance on Boundary Mountain and the hatred the demon race had for him. As a captive, he had no reason to be alive. The person behind her, how could it possibly be Jiang Fan? This certainly isn't real, right? Jiang Fan turned her around with a half-smile, saying, "Quite daring. Even dared to address Master Uncle by name. Before, you always called me Master Uncle without fail." The words Jiang Fan came from her mouth for the first time. Xianxia covered her rosy mouth. Her usually calm eyes were now wide open, cried out in surprise, "Master Uncle, you didn't die?" Jiang Fan smiled slightly, "Lucky to survive." Xianxia was overjoyed. Suddenly lunged into his arms, holding him tightly. Tears welled in her eyes, her voice choked. "I thought you were dead. Thought I'd never see you again." Jiang Fan looked slightly embarrassed. He was no longer a young man unaware of worldly matters. "Xianxia, don't let others misunderstand." Jiang Fan calmly pushed her away. They were in a master-uncle and niece relationship. Some lines should not be crossed. Xianxia was startled, realizing what she just did. Her pale skin quickly flushed red. She hurried back a few steps, maintaining distance, apologizing. "Sorry, Master Uncle, Xianxia was just too happy." Next to her, Yang Jun smacked his lips, adding more. "Then why didn't you hug anyone else?" Xianxia turned her head to look at him, her eyes returning to calmness. "Are you good at talking?" Yang Jun glanced at the green sword held in her palm. His mouth twitched slightly. Quickly and wisely shut his mouth. This past month, Xianxia had been uncharacteristically aggressive. He didn't want to get beaten too. Whoosh! A figure rushed over. It was Xianxia arriving anxiously. His disciple was in trouble. Naturally, he was more worried than anyone. "Xianxia, are you all right?" Seeing her unharmed, Xianxia let out a slight sigh of relief. The signal flare indicated enemy attack, and it was in the area where his disciple was patrolling. Naturally, he was extremely concerned. Fortunately, he arrived in time. Only then did he solemnly look at the enemy. Anyone making Xianxia hard-pressed must be very strong, but on closer inspection, he seemed as if he had seen a ghost. "Junior brother, are you a human or a ghost?" "Elder Qin tell you all." Halfway through the sentence, Jiang Fan realized. He had mastered Cloud Shadow probably faster than the Supreme Elders. He had arrived after setting off later. "I narrowly escaped death, considered myself to have saved a life." Jiang Fan smiled and said, "I just returned to Boundary Mountain and found senior brother Aoyang and Xianxia patrolling here. I wanted to test their progress and accidentally alarmed you all. My apologies." Xianxia's beard trembled with excitement. "It must be the master protecting you from above. You actually came back alive from the demon race. It's truly a miracle." Jiang Fan also felt that returning this time was a great fortune. He encountered too many dangers along the way. The demon race, ancient giants, Bema temple monks, blood skirt, green crane masters, Yandaeon, hell beasts, and in the end, the pursuit by the sky demon emperor. Recalling it, his scalp tingled. If it were to happen again, he couldn't guarantee he'd survive. Any of these dangers was extremely perilous. Looking at Jiang Fan, covered in travel dust, his face showed signs of fatigue. Xianxia softly said, "Junior uncle must have suffered a lot, right?" Jiang Fan came back to his senses. He glared at her and said sternly, "Don't think that by showing concern for your junior uncle he won't criticize you." He turned to Xianxia. "Senior brother Xianxia, you should discipline Xianxia properly. In just a month her skills have diminished. She's become reckless and without order, thinking of mutual destruction against a slightly stronger enemy with no desire to survive when captured. The grand battle between the humans and demons is imminent. She'll end up dead very quickly like this." Xianxia's pale face gradually turned red. She lowered her head in shame. Soon after, tears welled up in her eyes. Jiang Fan frowned. "You're even crying now. Did I wrongly accuse you? If I hadn't tested it out, I wouldn't have known how much you've regressed." Yang Jun raised his hand and hastily said, "Junior brother Jiang, you've misunderstood." Jiang Fan glared at him. "You too. If you're going to use hidden weapons, you should have more tricks up your sleeve. Who just throws one and stands there motionless?" After having sparred with the Outer Realm Divine Sect disciples, and comparing with the 9-sect Land disciples, he deeply felt the vast gap between the two. It wasn't just in terms of strength. The experience gap in facing enemies was worlds apart. Jiang Fan had no doubt that, at the same level of strength, the 9-sect disciples would almost certainly lose. 10 battles would be hard to win even one. Yang Jun closed his mouth, feeling embarrassed and sullen. Xianxia was taken aback. He could sense that Jiang Fan must have encountered some formidable peers. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become so strict with Xianxia and the others. After hesitating for a moment, he said, "Ouyang Jun is a disciple of the Thousand Refinement sect. I can't comment. But Xianxia, junior brother, may have misunderstood her. She's become like this because of you." Huh. Jang Fan raised an eyebrow. "Because of me?" Xianxia sighed. "Since completing the task with Concubine Yunxia and confirming you were captured. She has abhorred the demon race, especially their elite. Usually she can remain rational, but when encountering the demon elites, she goes all out. The reason, fundamentally, is because of you and her hatred towards them." Ouyang Jun cautiously chimed in. "Isn't that right? Junior sister Xia has been quite irritable lately. Can you believe she even started hitting people? For your sake, she's become unlike herself. Finally, she hoped you'd return alive, and yet you scolded her. You're really heartless." A warm current passed through Jiang Fan's heart, so Xianxia cared so much about him. He apologized. "Xianxia, I'm sorry junior uncle misunderstood you." Xianxia, with her head lowered in a slight nasal tone, said, "No, junior uncle is wise and powerful. How could he falsely accuse me?" Now she was throwing a little tantrum. He helplessly looked to Xianxia for help. Xianxia blew his beard and glared. "You made her cry. Why are you looking at me?" He turned his back and washed his hands of the matter. Ouyang Jun also looked on with schadenfreude. Slowly coax her. In his impression, Xianxia never cried nor showed such grievance. Today, Jiang Fan had made her cry. It showed he truly hurt her heart. Jiang Fan felt his head doubling in size. Coaxing women was not his forte at all. After some thought, he had no choice but to take out a bodhi seed imbued with a faint Buddhist light. "Don't cry anymore. Junior uncle will give this to you as compensation." Xianxia glanced at it, her eyes misty with tears, still with a slight nasal tone. "What?" Jang Fan said, "Bodhi seed, it can enhance comprehension. I only have 10, this one is for you." Xianxia turned her head away. "So it's for brain enhancement. If junior uncle thinks I'm brainless, he can say it directly, no need to beat around the bush." "Thanks, but I don't want it." Jiang Fan looked dumbfoundedly at the precious bodhi seed in his hand. How did she equate it to brain enhancement? No wonder they say an angry woman is harder to handle than a festive pig. This was way too hard to coax. "Hee, if no one wants it, then give it to me, okay?" A silvery bell-like young girl's voice suddenly came floating by. It was Mingzhu, all dressed in a pink dress, striding through the snow. She gazed back and forth between Xianxia and Jiang Fan with a playful smile. With a delicate hand, she reached out to grab the bodhi seed. Xianxia hurriedly took the bodhi seed away, clutching it tightly to her chest. "This is what junior uncle gave me." Jiang Fan exhaled slightly. In the end, it was Mingzhu who understood women, effortlessly helping Jiang Fan manage Xianxia. He smiled helplessly and took out another bodhi seed. "There's one for you too." Mingzhu giggled, cupping it with both hands. The faint Buddhist light illuminated her face, which could be charming or joyful, making it incomparably beautiful. "Is there more?" She grinned mischievously and leaned her face in. "I cried my heart out for you. Isn't there only one bodhi seed?" Jiang Fan had long figured out Mingzhu's nature. Very often, the things she said with a smile turned out to be true. During the month he was missing, she had been quite sorrowful. Jiang Fan leaned his head down and pecked towards her cheek. Mingzhu was startled. She quickly retreated, stammering, You really went for it?" She glanced at the wide-eyed Xianxia nearby, stomping her foot in embarrassment. She was just teasing Jiang Fan. Based on her understanding of Jiang Fan, he would never kiss her in public. Yet he unhesitatingly leaned in to kiss her. This left her bewildered. Her heart thumped like a little deer jumping around. Jiang Fan teased. "Such a noob, yet loves to play." Mingzhu bit her silver teeth lightly, swinging her pink fists in anger. "Who are you calling a noob?" So annoying. She had been outsmarted by Jiang Fan at this moment. Two maidens walking fast, surrounded by others, approached. The leading lady wore a moon-white long dress with a beauty that stood out even in the Nine Sect. Her steps were steady, her demeanor composed. Although not exceptionally powerful, she had an extraordinary aura. Following half a step behind was a tall lady with a gentle temperament. Her features were also quite beautiful. Wisdom occasionally gleamed in her eyes. She was also a rarely seen beauty with an excellent disposition and appearance. The two of them walked straight towards Jang Fan. The composed maiden glanced at Mingzhu, saying indifferently, "Step aside." Mingzhu chuckled in anger. Which woman dares come for Jiang Fan and tells her to step aside? How arrogant! Who does she think she is? Who are you? She crossed her arms and slightly raised her snow-white chin, an openly provocative stance. The composed maiden said indifferently, Su Yoren, Jiang Fan's fiancé. Mingzhu had already sent someone to inquire about Jiang Fan's only official woman. She naturally knew her name. At that moment, her heart skipped a beat. The hands wrapped around her arm unconsciously let go. Even her proudly raised neck lowered a bit, like a little thief caught red-handed by the owner. With a slightly panicked expression, she retreated to the side. Su Yoren glanced at her and walked over to Jiang Fan. She quietly gazed into his eyes. Jiang Fan felt guilty and said, Yoren, I'm sorry, He really didn't know how to explain. In fact, there was nothing to explain. A flirt is a flirt, sentimental is sentimental. Arguing just seemed hypocritical and shameless. Su Yoren covered his mouth. The tears in her eyes fell down suddenly like a kite with a broken string. It's me who should apologize to you, not knowing you've been through so many dangers. She leaned on Jiang Fan's shoulder, filled with guilt. She and Chen Silin were too well protected. Even when the battle at Boundary Mountain ended, they were still executing third-level tasks in the center of 9-sect territory. By the time they knew what kind of desperate situation Jiang Fan had encountered at Boundary Mountain, Jiang Fan was already deeply mired in the demon race quagmire. She was not even as good as Liu Qingxian. It said that Liu Qingxian almost died on her way to Boundary Mountain for Jiang Fan. This made her question her own competence as a fiancé. Jiang Fan's heart softened. He embraced her waist and said softly, I should be the one apologizing to you and Silin for making you worry. Chen Silin's eyes turned red as well, and she threw herself into Jiang Fan's arms. Husband, my sister and I thought we'd never see you again. We were even preparing to return to Lonely Boat City to guard a tomb for you from then on. Saying this, the tears began to fall. Jiang Fan felt moved and embraced her as well. I'm sorry for worrying you. Also, please rest assured in the future, your husband may not have other skills, but my skills for staying alive are top-notch. Even if faced with a nascent soul, I can barely manage to escape. The two women cried for a long time, until more and more people gathered around, making the two women embarrassed. Only then did they wipe away their tears and leave Jiang Fan's embrace. Su Yoren caught a glimpse of Yue Mingzhu in the crowd. She couldn't help but feel concerned. This pretty 18-year-old girl seemed to have an unusual interest in Jiang Fan. Seeing the Bodhi seed in her hand, Su Yoren said, This was given by my husband, wasn't it? Yue Mingzhu clenched the Bodhi seed. As a sect master, she's always the one giving others pressure. Now Su Yoren gave her tremendous pressure instead. She felt guilty and said, Yes, he gave it to me. Is there a problem? Su Yoren calmly said, I don't agree. Return it. What? On what grounds? This was given to her by Jiang Fan. Why should Su Yoren take it back? She bit her red lips slightly. Always rebellious and pursuing freedom, why would she bow down? This was given to me by Jiang Fan. If you have the guts, let Jiang Fan take it back. Su Yoren glanced sideways at Jiang Fan. However, she did not put Jiang Fan in a difficult position publicly. She only said, Let this be the last time. Without my permission, I don't want other women to accept my fiancé's gifts. Everyone understood. Su Yoren was declaring her sovereignty. It's no wonder she behaved this way. Jiang Fan's fame had skyrocketed, and too many female disciples were interested in him. If it were true admiration, it wouldn't be an issue. But there were some female disciples with dubious intentions among them. It's not a bad thing to give them a preemptive warning early on. Even if it angered Yue Mingzhu, it served as a warning to others. Yue Mingzhu had never suffered such grievances before. She figured out why Liu Qingxian didn't get along with Su Yoren. Anyone with a bit of pride couldn't stand Su Yoren, but she was the legitimate one in charge. No one could contend with her. Suddenly, she noticed Gong Kei in the crowd. She was hiding in the crowd, looking guilty. Yue Mingzhu was furious. Oh, you were there for the feast. Now I alone bear the blame. She rolled her eyes, raised her voice, and said, Sect Master Gong, don't you want a Bodhi seed? Out of the 10, one of them should be yours. What? Gong Kei's heart skipped a beat. She stomped anxiously. Why mention me? She couldn't avoid Su Yoren quickly enough. The detestable Yue Mingzhu just had to out her. Su Yoren had already turned her gaze over, and everyone around was watching. She had no choice but to step forward and say, Miss Su, please don't misunderstand. I just know Jiang Fan a little. After thinking it over, she took out a small spirit beast and said, This is a small gift for you on our first meeting. Su Yoren could tell. It was obvious Gong Kei felt guilty around her. It didn't take much to guess. She must be another woman infatuated with Jiang Fan, just like that Yue Mingzhu. She sighed softly in her heart. Jiang Fan's charm was truly overwhelming. First, it was the daughter of a nine-sect master. Now even the nine-sect master herself admired him. In her heart, she was naturally concerned about Jiang Fan having other women. Yet she didn't oppose it. Because, with Jiang Fan's rising status, more excellent women would be attracted to him. This wasn't something that would disappear just because she opposed it. Instead of becoming a jealous woman with nothing going for her, it was better to manage them for Jiang Fan. If they were stable and harmonious, Jiang Fan would have no worries. Gong Kei in front of her was gentle and kind, not rebellious like Yue Mingzhu, so naturally she wouldn't give her a hard time. Immediately she smiled while accepting the gift, saying, "When my fiancé first entered the Green Cloud sect, Sect Master Gong helped him greatly. Yoren is truly grateful. Husband, you should give her one Bodhi seed too." Jiang Fan had no objections. He immediately produced a Bodhi seed as well. Gong Kei was overwhelmed with favor. She had been worried Su Yoren would target her like she did Yue Mingzhu, making her feel humiliated. However, she was instead treated with such kindness. This left Yue Mingzhu feeling quite furious. Su Yoren's meaning was practically written on her face. If they complied, she would accept them. If they didn't, they'd be left out. But her nature was not one to submit to others. She stomped her foot and stormed off angrily. Su Yoren's gaze swept over everyone. When it landed on Xianxia Cultivation, her heart skipped a beat. She nervously opened her hands, hurriedly explaining, "Aunt, I don't want it anymore, I'm giving it back to you." Su Yoren smiled faintly. "Since it was given to you, my nephew, take it with ease." She was a bit puzzled. Why was this girl nervous? She was scrutinizing Jiang Fan's women. What did it have to do with a junior in her generation? With what she knew about Jiang Fan? Jiang Fan might be careless, but he wouldn't be reckless in such matters. Giving her a Bodhi seed should mean he considered her an important junior. Xianxia Cultivation blushed, murmuring to herself, "Really? What am I nervous about? I'm just a niece, and Aunt's words weren't about me." Only then did she hold onto the Bodhi seed with assurance. Jiang Fan smiled wryly, saying, "You sure put on quite the show of authority." Su Yoren glanced at him with a hint of grievance. "You think I want to be the bad guy? It's all for your sake." Chen Silin wrinkled her nose. "Husband, you have no idea how popular you are. Just from the rumors I heard, several elders from different sects are thinking about introducing their female disciples to you. As for the ones I don't know about, they're practically endless. If sister doesn't establish her authority, you'd be overwhelmed." At this moment, a loud voice came from Boundary Mountain, calling, "Jiang Fan, come to the camp quickly. The Pavilion Master has an order to convey to you." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master, Jiang Fan, was filled with respect. If not for the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's rescue from afar this time, he would not be alive. He must repay this kindness. Whether the order given now was to assign him a task, even if it meant going to the ends of the earth, he'd execute it without hesitation. He hugged the two delicate figures in his arms, said, "I have to handle some matters first. I'll take some time to spend with you both later." Su Yoren quickly nodded. "Husband, please go. The Pavilion Master's orders cannot be neglected." Jiang Fan nodded slightly. He placed the two women down and headed towards Boundary Mountain. The onlookers quickly swarmed around Jiang Fan as he left. Many elders from various sects took the initiative to converse with him. Even a few supreme elders were among them. Watching him being surrounded like the moon among stars, Su Yoren's eyes were filled with pride. "Siling, unknowingly our husband has become a major figure." Chen Silin's eyes sparkled with stars. "Isn't it so? The Pavilion Master personally gave him an order. Among the 9 sect, our husband is unique." Recalling when she first arrived at the Green Cloud sect. When people around her learned she was Jiang Fan's concubine, they all showed a look of pity. As if she lowered herself, wronged herself. But now, who would dare belittle her? Didn't they see that even the 9 sect leader Gong Kei was enamored with Jiang Fan, yet had no official status? And she was a concubine acknowledged by both Jiang Fan and Su Yoren. Those women wishing to get close to Jiang Fan were too envious to act. Jiang Fan, surrounded by countless admirers, ascended Boundary Mountain once more. Atop the mountain there were even more people. The 9 sect masters, supreme elders, and elite disciples were all present. It was bustling, numbering over 1,000 people. Almost the full force of the 9 sects was there. The scene was spectacular. "Jiang Fan!" Just upon arrival, a shout filled with anger rang out. Everyone's expressions shifted slightly. They hurriedly made way. Jiang Fan's return should have been a cause for joy. The only sect unhappy, even angry at his survival, was but one. The giant sect. Kong Yuanba, leading a group of elders from the giant sect, lined up blocking Jiang Fan's path. Several supreme elders of the giant sect faintly appeared behind them. As they looked at Jiang Fan, their eyes bore varying degrees of anger. Kong Yuanba's face was gloomy. "You have the nerve to come back." Having killed Fang Teji, the loss to the giant sect was unspeakably severe. Jiang Fan naturally knew what angered the giant sect. With his hands behind his back, he calmly said, "I eradicated a scourge for the human clan, sought justice for the falsely deceased elders of various sects. Why shouldn't I come back? As for your giant sect, how do you have the face to speak up when you produced such a shameless, despicable human traitor? It's truly turning the heavens upside down." With these words, several supreme elders from the outer sect were provoked. Each was furious. "Fang Teji killed my heavenly sound sect elder, and you say it has nothing to do with the giant sect. Yet when Jiang Fan returns, you angrily seek revenge for Fang Teji. When blame is needed, you hide. When revenge is sought, you jump outright. Since Sect Master Kong stands up for Fang Teji, then provide an explanation for Fang Teji killing my 1,000 refinement sect elder." It's not that they are overwhelmingly protective of Jiang Fan, but the giant sect's lack of integrity angered them, seeing more and more onlookers, far exceeding the number from the giant sect. The previously aggressive giant sect's demeanor diminished. When facing a single sect, the giant sect could naturally be overbearing and tyrannical. But in confronting the anger of the other 8 sects, they dared not act rashly. Kong Yuanba glared angrily around him. "This is a personal grievance between my giant sect and Jiang Fan. If Fang Teji killed your elders, go look for Fang Teji. Why involve my giant sect in this quarrel?" This shameless response drew rebuking shouts from the crowd. Jiang Fan laughed in anger as well. "What grievance? Let's hear it." Kong Yuanba scolded. "Of course it's that Fang." He glanced around, having to correct himself. "It's you injured my disciple Zhu Wancheng. Isn't that a personal grievance? Ha ha." Jiang Fan laughed, desiring revenge for Fang Teji but unable to find an appropriate excuse, bringing up outdated, trivial matters. He leisurely said, "Fine, I won't discuss the reasons. Let's consider it a grievance. When I was captured by the Demon Emperor Court, the demon race wanted to kill me. But they felt that for a group of mighty ones, it was not honorable to kill a human junior, so they let juniors take action. I had such a great enmity with them, yet they were embarrassed to bully the weak with their strength. Yet you of the giant sect are willing to collectively trouble me over grievances between juniors. Let me see, those old fellows at the back. Are they not supreme elders? You of the giant sect, both the old and the young, really don't care about saving face." His words drew hearty laughter from the crowd. Applause burst forth. "Well said, and you call yourselves the upper 3 sects of the 9. Even more shameless than those uncivilized demon beasts. It's a shame our sect is grouped with the likes of the giant sect among the 9 sects. Let's rename it to the 8 sects. Let the giant sect stand alone. It's devaluing to be with you." The ridicule from the crowd left the members of the giant sect red-faced. They never expected to be humiliated like this. Kong Yuanba, in anger and embarrassment, clenched his fists. "You little brat! How dare you insult my giant sect? I will not spare you." Jiang Fan stepped back 2 steps, gripping the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. Fearlessly said, "What you've done, can I not speak of it? Moreover, what makes you think you can do anything to me?" After his journey among the demons, Jiang Fan's strength had massively transformed. Kong Yuanba's physique was probably equivalent to the Jiden 8th layer cultivation. Considering the sect master's possible methods surpassing the usual Jiden 8th layer, his strength was, at most, no more than the Jiden 9th layer. Might not necessarily be able to deal with Jiang Fan. Kong Yuanba smiled angrily. A 9 sect master was being looked down upon by a junior like Jiang Fan. "Arrogant brat, today I will discipline you on behalf of your elders." He channeled terrifying physical strength, gathered in his fist to punch Jiang Fan. This punch was fully powered. Jiang Fan might not die but would definitely be heavily injured. Clang! But at this moment, a fierce sword chi slashed towards his side from a slant. Kong Yuanba's punch aimed at Jiang Fan was suddenly redirected to strike the sword chi. With a puff, the sword chi shattered. "Who?" Kong Yuanba roared angrily, glaring fiercely, daring to attack him. But upon seeing his expression changed slightly. It was Li Qingfeng, an elder from the Green Cloud sect. Clutching a sword, his face was icy as he gritted his teeth. "Kong Yuanba, Bullying my green cloud sect disciples. No one present at Boundary Mountain, thus bullying our sect disciples. Do you think I won't lay hands on your disciples, is that it? He coldly swept his eyes toward the elite disciples of the giant sect, frightening them into shrinking their necks, hiding behind their elders. Kong Yuanba was hateful, yet he hesitated. He wasn't afraid of Li Qingfeng. A mere 7th level of core formation couldn't make any waves among the strong in the giant sect. He worried that if Li Qingfeng went mad, it might trigger chaos. The observing outer sect strong ones had always harbored resentment toward the giant sect. Who could guarantee that they wouldn't take advantage of the chaos to secretly attack the giant sect's elders and disciples? And once it began, it might evolve into the 8 sects besieging the giant sect. This consequence, could the giant sect afford it? But not killing Jiang Fan, what about the grudge for Fang Teiji? The giant sect must not suffer loss. Such a grievous enmity must not be endured. Just then, from a tent in the distance came Yi Kangyuan's cold voice. Fan, yet you stopped him. Do you think the words of this vice pavilion master are ineffective? Majestic, chilling, and slightly angry words spread throughout the venue. Kong Yuanba trembled slightly. After a flash of unwillingness and struggle in his eyes, he dispersed the power in his palm. Raising his hand to cup his fist, he said, I wouldn't dare. He coldly glared at Jiang Fan, then fiercely glared at Li Qingfeng. Unwillingly stepped aside out of the way. The elders behind him also very reluctantly made way. Jiang Fan chuckled, thanks. A good dog doesn't block the way. You, the members of the giant sect, glared fiercely. Sheltered by Yi Kangyuan, this little brat is lawless. Li Qingfeng laughed heartily. Well said. In front of all the powerful members of the giant sect, Jiang Fan still displayed fearless courage. Within the 9th sect, who has such a youngster? He sheathed his sword and stepped forward, grasped his arm, squeezed it hard, and said, You've grown stronger. But your face is thinner. You must have suffered a lot, haven't you? As he spoke, his old eyes already clouded. His voice began to tremble slightly. Jiang Fan's disappearance undoubtedly dealt the heaviest blow to the green cloud sect. The newly rising star abruptly fell. Who can accept it? Li Qingfeng even personally brought Jiang Fan from Lonely Boat City to the green cloud sect. It can be said that he witnessed from beginning to end how Jiang Fan grew step by step from an orphan living under others' roofs to where he is now. One can imagine his feelings. Jiang Fan said apologetically, I made Elder Li worry. I'm truly sorry. Li Qingfeng quickly wiped away his tears. What nonsense are you talking about? It was us who didn't protect you well. Why are you apologizing? He looked Jiang Fan up and down to confirm he hadn't lost a single hair. His face couldn't help but show an expression of joy. Heaven bless. Heaven bless indeed. To let you return alive from the demon race? I was just tending to Elder Zhao at the foot of the mountain and heard people say you'd returned. I thought they were tricking me. I didn't expect it was really you. As he spoke, his eyes again welled up with old tears that fell, with Jiang Fan missing and not returning. The once rising green cloud sect fell from grace. It's inevitable that some jealous people would take the opportunity to mock them. Over the past month, they don't know how many rumors they've heard saying Jiang Fan had returned, tricking them again and again to go watch foolishly at Boundary Mountain, being laughed at by others, laughing at them for being delusional, still thinking about Jiang Fan returning alive. This time, Li Qingfeng still thought it was a trick. With a glimmer of luck, he came to take a look. What if it really was Jiang Fan? He didn't expect that he really saw Jiang Fan, so much so that when Jiang Fan was being troubled by the giant sect, it took him a while to come back to his senses. A warm current flowed through Jiang Fan's heart. Not only have I returned, but I've also brought some surprises for everyone. By the way, where is the sect master, and where are the others? Why do I only see Li Qingfeng? Li Qingfeng wiped away the old tears with his sleeve, saying, The sect master, the supreme elder, the elders, and the elite disciples of the sect. All this month have been seeking your trace within the demon race's territory. Here only I, Su Yining, and Elder Zhao are left. Jiang Fan's heart tightened. Could they be in danger? Right now when the demon emperor is leading troops south. But then he relaxed with a turn of mind. If the demon race had truly slaughtered so many strong members of the Green Cloud sect, it would be impossible for there to be no news. After a pause, Jiang Fan said in surprise, You just mentioned taking care of Elder Zhao. What for? Wasn't Elder Zhao's injury cured by Concubine Yunxia? At the time, Zhao Wuji's fatal injury was indeed healed by Concubine Yunxia with her 9 tails. So long has passed, why hasn't it healed? Li Qingfeng sighed, he fell ill from self-blame. He feels he burdened you. Jiang Fan sighed silently and said, Elder Zhao is overthinking. I'll meet with Vice Pavilion Master Yi first. I'll go with you to see him later. Li Qingfeng nodded, his face full of joy. Seeing Jiang Fan return, Zhao Wuji's illness might immediately improve. Under everyone's watchful gaze, Jiang Fan stepped into the tent. Yi Kangyuan sat at the desk in front of the case. A trace of a smile appeared on his stern face. It's a miracle that you're still alive. If not for the pavilion master personally sending a message, I wouldn't have believed you'd survive for so long. Jiang Fan chuckled lightly. Just lucky. His gaze shifted slightly. Jiang Fan said, May I ask Vice Pavilion Master Yi, who informed the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master that I was not dead and appeared in the northernmost part of the demon race. Jiang Fan always thought it was Qin Wangchuan and several Supreme Elders who informed him, but they're still on their way back now. It clearly wasn't them. Could it be the demon priest spirit sound? Jiang Fan asked tentatively. This woman, perhaps to protect her daughter Demon Moon, to prevent Jiang Fan's death from implicating Demon Moon. She wouldn't hesitate to set a trap for Concubine Yunxia. She notifying the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master is quite possible. How could it be? Yi Kangyuan firmly denied. How could our Pavilion Master have contact with a demon priest? The person is a high figure within the demon race. As for who it is, don't ask any more. Jiang Fan frowned. In the demon race, who would help the human clan? Although they are dissatisfied with the Sky Demon Emperor, they would never defect to the human clan. However, hearing Yi Kangyuan's tone, this is confidential. He couldn't delve further, cupping his hands, he said, May I ask what decree does the Pavilion Master have for me? I will certainly do my best to carry it out. Yi Kangyuan smiled slightly. No need to be tense. The Pavilion Master only needs your assistance in translating a document. He took out a peculiar bronze artifact. It was an unknown, fearsome beast. Its maw gaped wide, brimming with fangs, its glance being fiercely intense. Its body covered in scales, each one with sinister barbs, limbs with hooves burning with blood-red clouds of fire. Even though it was merely a bronze statue at first glance, Jiang Fan felt a sense of dread. What is this? Yi Kangyuan said gravely, Hell Beast. What? Jiang Fan's pupils contracted. The Hell Beast sealed in the Tiger Demon Emperor's mansion. This is its true form. At the time, what was seen was merely a claw it extended. What is a Hell Beast? Jiang Fan looked puzzled. Yi Kangyuan's expression turned equally heavy. He said, There is very little historical record. The last record about it was before ancient times. It seemed to appear out of thin air on the continent, with no traceable origin. But shortly after it appeared, ancient giants mysteriously arrived. When the War of Ancient Giants ended, people found the Hell Beast had disappeared. Paused for a moment, Yi Kangyuan showed a hint of fear. After 1,000 years, it has appeared again. Hiss! Jiang Fan understood the fear in Yi Kangyuan's eyes. Sucking in a cold breath, he said, Vice Pavilion Master Yi means to say. Hell Beast is a forewarning sign of the ancient giant's arrival. Jiang Fan had witnessed the ancient giant with his own eyes. It was an ancient giant, heavily injured, barely surviving by leaning on a giant egg. Even so, a casual strike from it could destroy the heavens and annihilate the earth. Under the siege of numerous nascent soul experts from the outer realm divine sect, it still unleashed boundless combat power, shattering countless spiritual artifacts and divine talismans. No one knew how many nascent soul experts were injured in that battle. It's hard to imagine. What kind of divine might a complete ancient giant would possess? According to historical records, nascent soul experts were merely food for ancient giants. Jiang Fan completely believed this was not an exaggeration, but a bloody truth. If the ancient giants were to sweep across the world once more, that scene, just thinking about it sent chills down Jiang Fan's spine. Yi Kangyuan also felt a chill down his back and gave a slight shudder, then said, This is merely the Pavilion Master's speculation. How the ancient giants descended, even the great sages of the past did not figure out. We do not dare to draw conclusions lightly. He pushed the Hell Beast bronze artifact in front of him. This is a bronze artifact passed down from ancient times. What's engraved on it is a Hell Beast. There are inscriptions on it that might record information about the Hell Beast. It's just that the Pavilion Master doesn't recognize the inscriptions either. So, he wants you to translate it. Jiang Fan showed a look of surprise. Did even the Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, far away, know about his proficiency in demon race writings? It seemed he hadn't displayed it in front of many people, carrying doubts. He closely examined the bronze artifact. discovering that it was densely engraved with inscriptions only the size of grains of rice. He shook his head slightly and said, "These are neither human clan characters nor demon race characters. I am powerless." The bronze artifact likely wasn't the work of the human clan. It could have been crafted by some race among all races thousands of years ago, and for some reason ended up in the human clan's hands. Yikangyuan was not surprised and said, "The pavilion master mentioned, if you can't recognize it for now, keep the bronze artifact with you. One day, when you decipher the inscriptions, come and inform him." Jiang Fan was puzzled. Did the pavilion master of the heavenly mechanism pavilion trust that he could decipher the inscriptions on the bronze artifact? After giving it some thought, Jiang Fan accepted the bronze artifact and said, "I'll try my best." He'd find time to peruse that bundle of all races' languages. If there were matching characters, he'd translate them. It would be a way to repay the pavilion master of the heavenly mechanism pavilion for saving his life. Yikangyuan nodded slightly. "Do you need my help in mediating your affairs with the giant sect?" Jiang Fan said in a deep voice. "No need. It's best if the giant sect doesn't provoke me again. For the sake of us all belonging to the 9 sect, I don't care to bother them. But if they cross my bottom line, don't blame me for being unkind to them." Yikangyuan was stunned. He meant to ask if Jiang Fan needed protection, to prevent the giant sect from harming him. But in Jiang Fan's mouth, it sounded like he could easily control the giant sect. He twitched his mouth and said, "All right. It's best if you know your limits. Come with me, I have 2 matters to announce to the 9 sect." Jiang Fan was curious. He followed him outside the tent. At this time, apart from the Green Cloud sect, the core personnel from the other sects were all present. With Yikangyuan's appearance, the scene immediately quieted down. "In the name of the pavilion master of the heavenly mechanism, I announce 2 major matters to the 9 sect land. First, humans and demons, ceasefire." "What?" Jiang Fan was taken aback. "Ceasefire? The demon emperor had just been leading forces south not long ago. Why the sudden ceasefire?" Very quickly, Jiang Fan thought of the Hell Beast and understood in his heart. The Hell Beast was a common enemy to both races. They needed to face it together, so there was no room for continued internal conflict between the races. But Jiang Fan thought of his compatriots who had fallen on Boundary Mountain. The war ended just like that? Their vendetta had not yet been avenged. The demon moon commanding the army. The sky demon emperor who started the war. Which of them had paid the price? A trace of grief spread in his heart. But he understood more that continuing to fight would sacrifice more of the human clan and many demons being forced into the war. Ultimately, it would only benefit the sky demon emperor, allowing him to weaken the threat of the demon race tribes as he wished. "Well, this account, I'll settle it personally someday." The 9 sect disciples also stirred up a massive commotion. The 9 sect had gathered all manpower and resources for a decisive battle, and the war suddenly ended. Some were relieved. Some felt unwilling because they couldn't avenge, and some were angry because they couldn't gain achievements, but with the Hell Beast in front. An alliance between the 2 races was the trend. Individual feelings had an insignificant impact. The 9 sect can decide their own departure time and withdraw from Boundary Mountain in an orderly manner. But please remain in combat readiness. Soon, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion will issue more important battle orders. Yikangyuan did not mention the Hell Beast. This matter was temporarily kept under wraps, to avoid unnecessary panic. The second matter, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion is formally recruiting disciples from the 9 sect. Based on performance in the Boundary Mountain battle and prior mission executions, the Pavilion Master has drawn up the following candidates. What? The 9 sect members became excited. Being admitted to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion was like a fish leaping over the Dragon Gate. The ultimate dream for 9 sect disciples was to, through their own efforts, step into the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, to compete on the same stage with those legendary prodigious talents. If they progressed further, they'd have the chance to tread into Taikang State, witnessing a broader martial path world. Even if they didn't make it out, the skills they acquired would be enough to return to the 9 sect and lead their sects. Many sect masters in the upper 3 sects had experiences of advanced studies in the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. This is also why they were stronger than the other 6 sect masters. After 5 years, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion was recruiting disciples again, who wouldn't be tempted. If a disciple from their sect were fortunate enough to be selected, it meant years later, a great expert would return. The most excited were still the Supreme Sect, Myriad Sword Sect, and Giant Sect. Because most of the recruited disciples were from the upper 3 sects each time, very few involved the other 6 sects. Of course, not every time would the upper 3 sects have disciples selected either. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion's requirements for disciples were so exacting that it was detestable. At times, for consecutive years, not a single disciple could get into the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. At best, it was merely that disciples from the upper 3 sects were simultaneously selected. So, who might enter the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion this time was really hard to say. Perhaps all 3 sects had members. Perhaps only 1 or 2 sects did. As for the other 6 sects, though their hopes were slim, they also hoped their disciples could defy fate, under the gaze of countless hopeful eyes. Yikangyuan took out the list handwritten by the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Slowly opening his mouth, he said, "Supreme Sect, Xianxia Cultivation." As soon as the words fell, a cheer of joy erupted from the Supreme Sect. Whether it was the Supreme Elder, the Sect Master, or the Elders, they all wore expressions of delight. Shangyuan Sheng excitedly said, "Ko, you made it." Xianxia Cultivation's eyes were calmly indifferent, responding with a polite, shallow smile. "Thank you for everything the Master and the Sect have done over the years." Then she immediately shifted her gaze to Jiang Fan. In her eyes, there was a hint of expectation. In stark contrast to the joyful cheers of the Supreme Sect was the Myriad Swords Sect and Giant Sect. They watched Yikangyuan intently. Was it possible that only the Supreme Sect had a disciple selected this time? Fortunately, Yikangyuan's lips moved again. Myriad Swords Sect Liang Fan. As soon as the words fell, the Myriad Swords Sect members burst out in joyful cheers. "Ha ha ha, our Myriad Swords Sect also got selected. Liang Fan, congratulations, congratulations." Su Qingyang grinned from ear to ear. His heart that had been suspended finally settled. His swordsmanship had been unable to be passed on. Liang Fan's journey to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion would bring many fortuities. At the very least, mastering the upper part of the sword control technique had great hope. This way, the lineage of swordsmanship wouldn't be lost. The Giant Sect disciples grew nervous, with 2 sects from the upper 3 sects selected. If they were left out, it would be quite embarrassing. Kong Yuanba secretly clenched his fists. "We're capable. If Liang Fan got selected, my disciple Jin Zhongming is much stronger than Liang Fan. There's no reason he wouldn't be selected." What bolstered his spirits was, Yikangyuan indeed spoke next. Another sect's disciple was selected. Yet the name he called out made Kong Yuanba's heart sink halfway, only to hear Yikangyuan, with a hint of a smile, announce loudly, "Green Cloud Sect Jiang Fan." Sects is read first, followed by the 6 others. This time, the Green Cloud Sect was ranked after the Supreme Sect and the Myriad Swords Sect. It was clear that the list was still following this traditional order. At the moment, no Giant Sect directly jumping to the Green Cloud Sect. This can only mean one thing. The Giant Sect was eliminated. Kong Yuanba couldn't accept it and said, "This is unfair. If Liang Fan can be selected, why was Jin Zhongming from the Giant Sect eliminated?" Several Supreme Elders and Elders all showed extreme dissatisfaction. If Liang Fan hadn't been selected, they would have nothing to say. But he was selected, yet Jin Zhongming was eliminated. It seems too unbelievable. The rest of the sects also fell into contemplation, despite the Giant Sect being unpopular. But you can't deny Jin Zhongming, as the leader of the younger generation in the Giant Sect, is extremely powerful. Just second to Xianxia Cultivation. Compared to Liang Fan, he definitely had more qualification to enter the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Such a result is truly puzzling. Yikangyuan cast a disdainful glance at Kong Yuanba, who was full of discontent, and the numerous disciples of the Giant Sect. Snorting heavily, the Pavilion Master has a notice. Originally planned to notify you privately to save you some face. Since you publicly question the fairness of the list, I will also notify you publicly. By command of the Pavilion Master, the Giant Sect's Supreme Elder betrayed the human clan, slaughtered compatriots, committed heinous crimes with extremely adverse effects. From today, the Giant Sect is required to rectify their conduct for a period of 10 years. During this period, disciples of the Giant Sect will lose the opportunity to enter the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. What? Kong Yuanba felt as if struck by thunder. It turns out, the reason Jin Zhongming wasn't selected was because he was subject to a ban. And for the next whole 10 years, even if the disciples of the Giant Sect are prodigies, they will not qualify to enter the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. This blow, how severe is it? On the other hand, the remaining 8 sects all cheered with great excitement. Ha ha ha, retribution. Did the giant sect think they could get away by claiming what Fang Teiji did had nothing to do with them? The pavilion master of the heavenly mechanism is wise. Such sects with major negative records should be punished severely. Let's see if people of the giant sect still dare to act recklessly and arrogantly, unless they never hope their disciples can enter the heavenly mechanism pavilion again. Jiang Fan sighed slightly, feeling much better inside. This is how rewards and punishments should be clear, to prevent the giant sect from thinking that no one can deal with them. Li Qingfeng also burst into laughter. A double blessing. He grabbed Jiang Fan's shoulder and laughed. Some villains have been punished, and our Green Cloud sect has successfully been selected, breaking a 50-year record. How can I not celebrate this with 10 pots of wine? No one was surprised by Jiang Fan's selection, given his performance at the Boundary Mountain and the terrifying combat power he demonstrated subsequently. If he wasn't qualified for the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, then Xia Caoj and Liang Feiyin would be even less qualified. His selection was well-deserved. Everyone was about to go up and congratulate him. Yi Kangyuan said, "I'm not done reading yet." Everyone was suddenly excited. Could it be that there are more sect disciples selected? But when Yi Kangyuan announced the complete list, the arena fell into a deathly silence. Green Cloud Sect, Jang Fan, Liu Qingxian, Su Yoren, Chen Silin. All right, the above is the list drafted by the Pavilion Master. On October 9th, you must report to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Everyone had no interest in the last two sentences anymore. Their attention was completely attracted by the additional 3 names. Did I hear wrong? The Green Cloud Sect selected 4 people at once. Has the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion ever recruited disciples like this? No. Never, for one sect, having 1 disciple selected is already a great honor. 4 people entering the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion together, this is too shocking. The buzzing discussions erupted at the scene, no less intense than the previously announced truce between the 2 clans. Kong Yuanba found it even harder to accept. Clenching his fists, he said, "Vice Pavilion Master Yi, speak with your conscience. Is the list from the Green Cloud Sect appropriate? Jiang Fan being selected, I have nothing to say. But what's the deal with those 3 women? In terms of strength or performance at the Boundary Mountain or prior to task execution, what qualifies them for the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion?" In fact, this is what everyone was thinking. Though Liu Qingxian achieved great fame with a single sword stroke against Zhu Wanchang, she should be no match for Liang Feiyin. During the Boundary Mountain War, she was not present either. From every perspective, she seems unqualified. Her selection is indeed hard to convince people, but it's merely dissatisfying to people. The other 2, though, made everyone feel extremely absurd. Su Yoren, Chen Silin. The 2 women haven't even reached the core formation realm, and they don't even rank in the top 200 among the 9 sect disciples. They didn't participate in the Boundary Mountain War either. For pre-battle tasks, they didn't even make it onto the list. 2 ordinary strength individuals, without any significant achievements, openly surpassed so many disciples to be selected for the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. This made many sects feel ridiculous and indignant. If the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion really had no one to choose, why not consider our young master from the Thousand Refinement sect? He personally participated in the Boundary Mountain War, with strength far surpassing those 2 female disciples. You are aggrieved, Thousand Refinement sect, but is our Desires sect not aggrieved? What's lacking in our chief disciple Zai Liushu? Didn't he also participate in the Boundary Mountain War? In the end, he couldn't measure up to 2 Foundation Establishment Realm female disciples. Where do we seek justice for this? Such voices of doubt flooded everywhere. Amidst the crowd, Su Yoren and Chen Silin's cheeks were burning. They quietly shuffled their steps, half hiding behind Jiang Fan. They also didn't expect to be selected for the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. This made them feel both pleasantly surprised and undeserving. So many prodigy disciples who fought at the Boundary Mountain were eliminated. Yet they, who had always been in the logistics, were selected. Husband, you should ask Vice Pavilion Master Yi to cancel our qualification. Neither Silin nor I can accept this honor. Su Yoren couldn't bear the eyes focusing on them. Jiang Fan was also greatly surprised. After contemplating for a moment, he cupped his hands to Yi Kangyuan and said, "Vice Pavilion Master Yi." The Pavilion Master selected these 3 women. Is there an explanation? Yi Kangyuan, upon hearing this, scanned the crowd coldly. Under his sharp gaze, the group instantly quieted. Our Pavilion Master does not need to explain his choices to anyone, nor give any reason to anyone. But, since Jiang Fan has requested, I'll make an exception to clarify this to you. So you won't maliciously slander these 3 female disciples." He put away the handwritten note from the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master. With his hands clasped behind his back, he said, "Liu Qingxian, Su Yoren, and Chen Silin. By the rules, they indeed do not qualify for the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. The reason they were selected is because the Pavilion Master hopes that Jiang Fan can be in the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion without worries. Therefore, the 3 women were specially recruited into the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Understand? The reason the 3 women entered the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Actually, it's just because they are Jiang Fan's women. For Su Yoren and Chen Silin, it goes without saying. The publicly acknowledged fiancé and concubine. Liu Qingxian, she was also recognized as a beloved by Jiang Fan at the Boundary Mountain. Yi Kangyuan coldly snorted, "If anyone is still unconvinced, then just become Jiang Fan's woman." Everyone looked at each other in dismay. If that's the reason, they indeed had nothing more to say. For the first time I've heard, someone can enter the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion and bring their loved ones along. The real-life version of one person attains enlightenment, and the whole family ascends to heaven. The value of being Jiang Fan's woman continues to rise. I'm male, would there be hope for me to become Jiang Fan's woman? I suggest you jump off the Boundary Mountain. Maybe you'll have a chance in 18 years. Su Yoren and Chen Silin were overjoyed, holding Jiang Fan's arms on both sides, full of gratitude. With just the status of belonging to Jiang Fan, they reached a height unattainable by the prodigy daughters of the 9-sect land. Chen Silin covered her mouth, giggling uncontrollably. The facts once again proved how fortunate she was to have joined Jiang Fan's side early on. Suddenly, she noticed there was a female disciple among the crowd retreating silently, tears in her eyes. She couldn't help revealing a complex expression. It was Su Yining. The opportunity to go to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion was originally hers alone. But now, Chen Silin averted her gaze, pretending not to see. She could feel Su Yining's current emotions, and she could imagine Su Yining is most afraid of others thinking about her at this moment. Because the stark contrast would make her a target of public ridicule, it would make her completely embarrassed. Thud! A soft sound suddenly came. It was Su Yining who, while retreating, accidentally stepped on someone else's foot. Unbalanced, she fell to the ground. The commotion naturally attracted some attention. Su Yining of the Green Cloud sect? I heard that Su Yining was originally engaged to Jiang Fan by contract, but she despised Jiang Fan and let her sister replace her. Originally, only a few people noticed her. Hearing this bizarre story, who wouldn't cast a curious glance, they all began to scrutinize her. As a result, all the people around moved aside, forming a semicircle, putting her in the spotlight. With such beauty, she's a great beauty with excellent talent, no wonder she's picky. But her judgment is lacking. Such a good chance, she gave it to her sister. This is probably the biggest mistake she's made in her life, right? Removing probably, it's the biggest mistake. Originally, it should have been her going to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, but now it's her sister instead. From today onwards, the fates of the 2 sisters have diverged. One lingers in the 9th sect, the other perches like a phoenix on Wudong in the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. When they meet again, the younger sister might have to address the elder sister as senior. Sometimes, the change of fate comes within a single thought. My sect's female disciples, remember Su Yining's lesson well. Do not underestimate anyone, to avoid lifelong regret. Su Yining climbed up in embarrassment. The day she feared the most had finally come. She was completely overshadowed by Su Yoren, becoming the subject of ridicule across the land. However, today's situation was more humiliating than she imagined. In front of the entire 9th sect, not only was she ridiculed, she also became a negative example. She became the story that elders of each sect used to educate their female disciples. This made Su Yining wish she could disappear on the spot. Never, ever appear in the 9th sect again. She looked at Jiang Fan through tear-filled eyes, amidst countless jeers, turned awkwardly and limped towards the foot of the mountain. Su Yoren tugged Jiang Fan's arm, anxiously saying, "Husband, can you help her get into the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion too?" After all, they shared the same father. How could she bear to see Su Yining in such a miserable state? Jiang Fan said helplessly, "How can I influence the decision of the Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion? Besides, the Pavilion Master was willing to specially recruit you 3. It was already a huge favor to me. If I weren't grateful and asked for more," one could easily imagine how the Pavilion Master would view him if he really went to ask for a spot. At the very least, he would be seen as greedy and ungrateful, right? Su Yoren knew she was imposing an impossible task, no longer pleading. But watching Su Yining limping away, her eyes couldn't help but turn red. I shouldn't have let her mess around back then. If I hadn't agreed to replace her, she wouldn't be like this now. Jiang Fan saw that her feelings were affected as well. He could only brace himself and chased after her. Yining, when Jiang Fan caught up, he realized. Su Yining's face was already covered in tears. She turned her head towards Jiang Fan with a forlorn smile and said, "You finally got to lift your head high, didn't you? This is the scene you longed for, isn't it?" Jiang Fan sighed softly. "You misunderstood. I've said many times. I've never blamed you for anything. I agreed when you first mentioned breaking the engagement. The Su family had taken care of me for so many years. It was enough. There was no need to uphold the marriage agreement. It was your mother who wanted to marry Su Yoren to me, a mute, and I couldn't bear seeing her hurt, so I finally agreed. Strictly speaking, it wasn't your sister replacing you. You don't need to mind it." For some reason, her smile became even more desolate. Without turning back, she limped silently down the mountain. Jiang Fan sighed. Comforting women was never his forte. Furthermore, with a woman this complex, it was even harder to console. Li Qingfeng also showed a look of pity, stepped forward and said, "Jiang Fan, don't worry about it. I'll go and counsel her." He felt very downhearted, because after what had happened, Su Yining was ruined. With her temperament, she would most likely try to take her own life. Even if the counseling succeeded and she survives, her Dao heart would be damaged, making it hard to achieve significant progress on the martial path in the future. Jiang Fan nodded and returned to Su Yoren's side. Chen Silin, being more perceptive, sighed and said, "Husband really doesn't understand women. She doesn't want explanations, she wants your attitude. A single hug from you would speak louder than 1,000 words." Jiang Fan was speechless. "Do I dare hug her? She hates me so much, wouldn't she just stab me with a sword?" Chen Silin shook her head. "You're just a wooden block. I'm not talking to you anymore. Even if I explained, you wouldn't understand." Didn't Jiang Fan realize by now? In Su Yining's heart, she no longer hated Jiang Fan. She was just yearning for something she couldn't have. But it was too late to say anything. Jiang Fan scratched his head. "Forget it, with Elder Li there, she won't be in any trouble." Right then, 8 figures from the demon race territory dashed in. Their powerful auras triggered the alarm on Boundary Mountain. Wasn't there supposed to be a ceasefire? Once they got closer, aside from some calm sect leaders and supreme elders, everyone was stunned. "Isn't that our Desire sect's supreme elder? Our True Thunder sect's supreme elder is also here." They were none other than the 9, now 8, supreme elders who went to the Tiger Demon Emperor's inner residence to carry out a secret mission. When they left, they did so quietly. When they returned, they did not announce it grandly either. They only held a private conversation with Yi Kangyuan for a while, and then each returned to their sect members. Though everyone was puzzled, they didn't ponder it too much. "Junior brother Jiang, let's go, junior brother Aoyang, junior brother Zai, and I have prepared a welcome banquet for you." Liang Feiyan, along with Aoyang Jun and Zai Liushu, came over with beaming smiles. Actually, this banquet was initiated by Aoyang Jun and Zai Liushu. The two couldn't make it into the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. They could only wish Jiang Fan and Liang Feiyan continued success and glory in the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Jiang Fan said, "Another day. I need to go back to take care of Elder Zhao now." Li Qingfeng and Su Yining had both left. Zhao Wuji was alone. Ouyang Jun sighed with disappointment. "What a pity I traded with other junior brothers for lots of fine wine." Zai Liushu also pursed his lips. "Exactly. I even contacted many pretty junior sisters to keep you company." Liang Feiyan said, "Can't junior sister Su and junior sister Chen take care of it? You were in that harsh, cold land of the demon race for so long, with nothing good to eat, not a single beauty around. We brothers just wanted to make it up to you." Thinking about Jiang Fan being held captive for so long, they all felt a pang of heartache. Being a captive in the demon race must have been worse than being a beast of burden. In the distance, Su Qingyang was conversing with the returning supreme elder of the Myriad Sword sect. He overheard Liang Feiyan's words and his mouth twitched violently. He quickly came over and twisted his ear. "You still feeling sorry for Jiang Fan? Do you know what kind of life he lived among the demons? Be gentle, you're going to twist it off. My brother suffered in the demon race, is it wrong to care about his health?" Zai Liushu felt baffled, said, "Senior Su, just listen to what you're saying. Junior brother Jiang is a major enemy of the demon race. How could he possibly have a good time there?" Ouyang Jun also looked speechless. Yes, the demon race must have cruelly tortured him. Who knows what kind of inhumane suffering junior brother Jiang has endured? We give him some fine wine, find some pretty junior sisters to keep him company to ease the pain in his heart. This is just a bit of kindness from us brothers. Why is the senior reprimanding us? Su Qingyang couldn't bear to listen anymore. The old eyes rolled. You single guys without women. Actually feeling sorry for Jiang Fan? Have you seen Concubine Yunxia? Is she pretty? Zai Liushu's eyes were wide open and said, more than just pretty. That figure, that face, simply top grade in the human world. The title of immortal beauty is not an exaggeration. Ouyang Jun and Liang Feiyan also nodded. Concubine Yunxia's beauty can indeed be described as immortal beauty. There is no man in the world who can resist such beauty. How about the sea charm demon king? Has anyone seen her? This question touched on Zai Liushu's professional field. He proudly said, I've seen her portrait. Upper body of a graceful person, lower body of a fish tail. The entire mermaid clan is beautiful, and the sea charm demon king is the most outstanding among them of supreme beauty. If you've seen her once, it's hard to forget. Ouyang Jun and Liang Feiyan hadn't seen her. But for someone like Zai Liushu, who has seen countless women to have such a deep impression, that beauty must be astonishing. Su Qingyang slightly nodded. One of the 4 outstanding heroes of the demon race, Ling Shu. Zai Liushu once again puffed out his chest and said, I know too. At this moment, he was undoubtedly the most dazzling on Boundary Mountain. No one could outshine him in this field. Although I haven't seen her, I've heard that her talent is amazing, her temperament fresh and serene, gentle and charming. Among the younger generation of the demon race, she is the most beloved female demon clan. To be so loved by the entire demon race, she must be extraordinary. Zai Liushu's eyes were full of wonderful fantasies about Ling Shu. Su Qingyang nodded. Impressive knowing so much. Zai Liushu proudly said, Of course, these are the top-level beauties of the demon race. To have one, what more could a husband ask for? To die without regret. Su Qingyang gave a sneering laughter, spoke in an odd tone. What if I tell you? When Jiang Fan travels in the demon race, he's accompanied by 3 unparalleled beauties. The expressions of the 3 solidified simultaneously. Isn't this different from the imagined difficult days of Jiang Fan? Zai Liushu's expression froze for a moment, said, Jiang Fan is a captive. Them supervising him isn't much, right? Su Qingyang's expression became even more peculiar. The problem is Jiang Fan has the freedom to move. They all listen to Jiang Fan, and they are very courteous to Jiang Fan's elder, Supreme Elder Qin Wang Chuan. By the way, Ling Shu even gave Supreme Elder Qin a small gift, seeming to want to make a good impression in front of Supreme Elder Qin. If nothing goes wrong, they all really like Jiang Fan. A group of single guys without girlfriends feeling sorry for someone accompanied by world-class beauties, living free and easy. I'm old, I can't understand young people these days. Liang Feiyan, Ouyang Jun, and Zai Liushu were petrified on the spot. For a long time, only then did Zai Liushu's face stiffen, stubbornly saying, No problem. Doesn't the demon race still have the demon emperor's daughter? Heard she has golden hair, devastatingly beautiful and so noble. Su Qingyang mercilessly struck them. Sneered, are you talking about Liu Li? Don't you know yet? Jiang Fan is the prince consort of the demon race, Liu Li's fiancé. Prince consort of the demon race. Jiang Fan, how is this possible? The demon race would love to eat Jiang Fan alive. How could they let him be the prince consort? But since these words came out of Su Qingyang's mouth, then it's surely true, so to speak. Jiang Fan monopolized all the 4 great beauties of the demon race. Su Qingyang smirked. Tusk. Jiang Fan lives in the demon emperor court, eats fine meals, travels with the most beautiful demonesses, enjoys the demon race's top-notch cave mansion. Some poor guys freezing and eating snow at Boundary Mountain are actually feeling sorry for him. Who could hold it in after hearing this? Liang Feiyan's face turned green, gritting his teeth, said, Turns out the clown is me. Ouyang Jun wiped his face. Forget it, I'll drink this wine myself. The one who needs comfort is me. Zai Liushu was even more heartbroken, said, Junior brother Jiang, how could you do this? Please break off relations with the 4 great beauties of the demon race, I beg you. This hurts more than death. Truly, it fulfills that saying. Afraid your brother suffers, yet also afraid your brother enjoys great fortune. Jiang Fan rolled his eyes, said, You just see the wolf eating meat, not the wolf getting beaten. Get out of here. Then somewhat speechlessly said to Su Qingyang, Senior Su seems to have some opinions on me. Su Qingyang waved his hand, said in a sarcastic tone, How dare I? You're a sword Dao prodigy, the one who learned the first half of my sword control technique. How could I dare to have an opinion on you? Jiang Fan was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. So it turns out Su Qingyang held a grudge over this. At the time, Jiang Fan wore the No-One Shadow Guard mask, not revealing his identity as a Green Cloud sect disciple. Only then did Su Qingyang teach him swordsmanship. Unexpectedly, Jiang Fan succeeded in learning it, as a Green Cloud sect disciple no less. This undoubtedly made people from the Myriad Swords sect feel embarrassed, their own swordsmanship needing an outer sect to promote. Who could feel good about that? He said with a wry smile. Back then I did not deliberately conceal my identity. Please forgive me, senior. Humph, Su Qingyang snorted from his nostrils, grumbled. If I minded, would I let Liang Feiyan give you the second half? Turns out. He knew about Liang Feiyan collecting the second half to give to Jiang Fan, just turned a blind eye. Jiang Fan promptly stood straight, cupped his hands. Thank you, senior, for your kindness. I am deeply grateful, Su Qingyang snorted and asked. How is the cultivation of the second half going? Any progress on the sword body? This left Jiang Fan in a dilemma. Cultivating the sword body needs sword chi of spiritual artifact level to temper the body. If he admitted, wouldn't that expose he had a purple sword? Seeing him hesitant, Su Qingyang sighed. Do you know why no one practices the second half? This second half is just a pitiful thing. Whoever owns a divine sword of a spiritual artifact level, aren't they all nascent soul level experts? And would nascent soul experts even need to cultivate the sword body? Learn sword flight? Isn't air traversal more appealing? This second half, it's like unneeded nonsense, Su Qingyang muttered under his breath. Clearly, he held a grudge over the unreasonableness of the second half for many years. Jiang Fan rubbed his nose. Since Su Qingyang thought he hadn't succeeded in cultivating it, then it was best to keep it that way. Calm down, senior. Maybe the second half is only suitable for those with fate. Su Qingyang took a deep breath and said, You just got the second half and don't understand. When you have it for a few more years, you'll curse it even more fiercely than I do. The creator of this sword technique is truly unscrupulous. Saying this, he walked away angrily, sweeping his sleeve. Jiang Fan secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, he didn't admit to mastering the second half. Otherwise, Su Qingyang would have been so angry he'd have spat blood on the spot. Husband, what does it mean that you became the prince consort of the demon race? Jiang Fan had just exhaled a breath of relief. A gentle voice came to his ear. Jiang Fan's head began to ache, said, There are too many people here. When we get back to the Green Cloud sect residence, I'll explain to you. Meanwhile, in the cave mansion of the giant sect, Kong Yuanba shattered an ice sculpture with a palm and said in shock, Say it again, what happened to Supreme Elder He? Ultimately, it couldn't be kept from the giant sect. The sole perfect Supreme Elder of the 9th layer of core formation did not return with the other sect's Supreme Elders. This alone made the giant sect uneasy. They would naturally send someone to investigate, and the 8 Supreme Elders who did return might not have intentionally informed the giant sect of this. But as long as they told someone around them, it would no longer be a secret. One would tell 10, and 10 would tell 100. Eventually, it was bound to reach the ears of the giant sect. The reporting disciple sorrowfully said, Supreme Elder, he has fallen. Swish, swish. Kong Yuanba staggered back a couple of steps and slumped into his chair. The reason why the upper 3 sects are the upper 3 sects, besides having powerful disciples, the most important factor is the sect must have a super strong 9th layer perfectionist core formation expert to hold the fort. The previous fall of Fang Teiji had already dealt a huge blow to the giant sect. Fortunately, after expending resources for several years, Jiu Zhang managed by luck to break his physical limits, reaching the perfection of the 9th layer of core formation. He successfully preserved the giant sect's position among the upper 3 sects. But now, he was told that Jiu Zhang had died, the successive loss of 2 perfect 9th layer core formation experts. This blow is something no sect could bear. Kong Yuanba found it especially hard to accept. He could not believe it and asked, How did he die? Supreme Elder, he was perfect at the 9th layer of core formation. Even if he encountered the 5 demon kings in the heart of demon territory, he should have had a chance to escape. The disciple, gathering intelligence, clenched his fists in anger. It was Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan ordered Concubine Yunxia and the Sea-Charm Demon King to act and killed Supreme Elder He. What? Kong Yuanba suddenly stood up and grabbed the disciple by the collar. Who? Jiang Fan. He can command Concubine Yunxia and the Sea-Charm Demon King. The reporting disciple was so frightened by Kong Yuanba's terrifying eyes that he quickly said, It was Jiang Fan. Yes, I got the same information from several sects. For some reason, even though he is a captive, he has a close relationship with Concubine Yunxia and the Sea Charm Demon King. It was his order that prompted them to kill Supreme Elder Jiang Fan. Again, it's Jiang Fan. Kang Yuanba, in a rage, unleashed a violent aura of 8th-layer core formation, sweeping the surroundings. The disciple in front of him was instantly thrown away, crashing into the ice wall and spitting blood uncontrollably. Jiang Fan, I'll kill you! 2 perfect 9th-layer Supreme Elders both died by Jiang Fan's hand. This is a blood feud. The several elders present were shocked and immediately stood up to stop him. Sect Master, calm down. Jiang Fan has already been chosen by the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master as a candidate, and he is also specially favored. If you kill him, how would the Pavilion Master deal with us lightly? Yes, we are already in the process of rectifying the sect's conduct. If we kill Jiang Fan, I'm afraid our giant sect wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. Kang Yuanba roared in anger. Then what are you suggesting we do? He killed our 2 perfect 9th-layer Supreme Elders, 2 of them. This is destroying our giant sect, an irreconcilable grudge. Are we just to let this go? When has our giant sect ever endured such humiliation? An elder said coldly. Sect Master, we cannot kill him. Vice Pavilion Master Yi is the one who can. For him to be able to command Concubine Yunxia and the Sea Charm Demon King, isn't this outright collaboration with the demon race? His 100 lives wouldn't be enough to kill. Kang Yuanba's eyes churned with murderous intent. Without a word, he headed straight for the Boundary Mountain encampment. Collaboration with the demon race? Isn't the war over? Yi Kangyuan said expressionlessly. Jiang Fan's building ties with the high ranks of the demon race is beneficial for mending relations between the 2 races. This is a good thing. Kang Yuanba couldn't believe his ears. He came to lodge a complaint. What he got was a sentence saying the war was over. Also, to please Concubine Yunxia when Fang Teiji did it, it was a grave sin that implicated the giant sect. But for Jiang Fan, did it end just like that with one light sentence? Vice Pavilion Master Yi, handling things this way, our giant sect will not accept it. Kang Yuanba's fists clenched so tightly they cracked. Yi Kangyuan's face turned cold. Does it matter whether you accept it or not? Moreover, all 8 Supreme Elders have told me. It was your Supreme Elder who attacked Jiang Fan first. Jiang Fan, through his own abilities, commanded the people of the demon race to counterattack and kill him later on. This is his own fault. You can't blame anyone else. Kang Yuanba's face was exceedingly grim. I don't care. In any case, Jiang Fan killed our Supreme Elder I must make him pay the price. Absolutely. He angrily turned and walked out of the tent. As he was about to leave, Yi Kangyuan said meaningfully, considering that your giant sect also contributed to the Battle of Boundary Mountain, I'll give you a piece of advice. Let this matter end here. Do not continue to provoke Jiang Fan. If he was able to return alive from the demon race, he must have extraordinary means. If you truly cross his line, your giant sect will more than likely regret it. When the giant sect previously blocked Jiang Fan, Yi Kangyuan had been observing coldly from the sidelines. He wanted to see what astonishing methods Jiang Fan possessed. Unfortunately, it was interrupted by Li Qingfeng. But he firmly believed that for Jiang Fan to return unscathed from such a perilous demon race territory, he must have the legendary prowess to slay gods if they blocked his way, and annihilate Buddhas if they stood in his path. Kang Yuanba did not turn his head back, coldly saying, obviously he did not take this crucial advice to heart. Yi Kangyuan shook his head, decisively packing his things. Never mind, let's leave promptly. Lest the giant sect suffers losses and comes to me to make a judgment, putting me in the middle. On the other side, Jiang Fan, inside a cave dwelling carved out of an iceberg, saw the weakened Zhao Wuji. Jiang Fan, seeing it was him, Zhao Wuji, who had been lying down for over half a month, suddenly sat up. His withered face glowed with vitality at a visibly rapid pace. You're not dead. The guilt that Zhao Wuji had felt for over a month finally eased at that moment. Jiang Fan looked at the noticeably more white-haired Zhao Wuji, feeling full of remorse in his heart. I made Elder Zhao worry. I had a narrow escape this time and brought resources back for the sect. He took out the coral flower of the East Sea Third Princess, and also a space storage device from Jiangshan First-Class Building's guest elder. The coral flower is a natural space storage device. No spell is needed. Jiang Fan's divine sense directly swept over it. A dazzling variety of marine resources met the eye. Many of them are beneficial to the Foundation establishment realm. There are also some resources to enhance early-stage core formation cultivation. Unfortunately, there are no items akin to water source essence. He directly handed the coral flower to Qin Wangchuan. "Supreme Elder Qin, you should keep it. Distribute it to each peak when we return to the sect. As for Medicine Peak, you can allocate a bit more." Qin Wangchuan had taken good care of him. Giving a bit more is a token of his appreciation. Qin Wangchuan, with hands behind his back and a childlike voice but an old-fashioned tone, said, "Just shows you have some conscience, boy. If you could bring back that girl named Ling Shu, it would be even better." Jiang Fan was speechless. Still thinking about Ling Shu, huh? He then looked towards Zaifeiju's space storage device. As a guest elder of Jiangshan first-class building, his collection cannot be compared to the East Sea Third Princess. Although Zaifeiju was dead, Zioyer of the Silver Fox clan learned the incantation through lip reading. Jiang Fan, with a hint of anticipation in his eyes, murmured, "All barriers gone, wishing a great fortune," with a click sound. The space storage ring opened. However, just as Jiang Fan's divine sense was about to probe inside, an unexpected change occurred. Storage device without any warning, heading straight for Jiang Fan's forehead. Even Jiang Fan was startled. Reacting swiftly, he retrieved the sky observation treasure, using it to block in front of his forehead just in the nick of time, and activated it. Whoosh, as the eyeball on the sky observation treasure turned. The clear light that struck it was instantly deflected, piercing through the snow cave and disappearing into the sky. Black smoke billowed out from the pierced hole, revealing the power of the clear light. If it had indeed hit a spot like his forehead, Jiang Fan would have surely been killed on the spot. Right after that. Phew, that was close. Jiang Fan's heart was pounding. Despite his caution, he almost got caught. Who would have thought that a dead person's space storage ring, even after obtaining the spell, still hid such a deadly trick? Qin Wangchuan was also shocked. "This clear light is the space storage device from Jiangshan first-class building. You should have told me earlier. I would have stopped you for sure. All space storage devices above the level of guest elder from Jiangshan first-class building have traps set. If outsiders open it, they will definitely trigger it. Luckily you blocked it, otherwise the consequences would have been unimaginable." Oh. Only then did Jiang Fan know that Jiangshan first-class building's space storage devices had such restrictions. He curiously asked, "How does Supreme Elder Qin know about this?" Qin Wangchuan did not hide it and said, "To cure my body's freezing condition, I once went incognito and joined Jiangshan first-class building. I barely managed to reach the position of a guest elder. I know a little about its secrets." Jiang Fan was greatly surprised. Qin Wangchuan even had experiences in Taikang State. "What's with your expression? Almost all Supreme Elders in our sect have traveled to Taikang State. The best among them is the Supreme Elder of Reincarnation Peak. Under his care, the senior disciple of Reincarnation Peak has now become quite extraordinary." Jiang Fan furrowed his brows. Only then did he realize a problem. Under Fenggu's Zen sect, there seemed to be no saying about a senior disciple. Tang Tianlong was only his second disciple, and he never claimed to be the big senior brother of Reincarnation Peak. Does Elder Feng have a senior disciple? That truly is unexpected. Qin Wangchuan sighed. "We call him the senior disciple, but that's just our wishful thinking. He might not even be willing to acknowledge himself as a disciple of the Green Cloud sect." Jiang Fan couldn't help but murmur. This senior disciple of Reincarnation Peak managed in Taikang State so well, not even wanting to acknowledge being a disciple of Green Cloud sect. But this had nothing to do with him anymore. He carefully used his divine sense to explore Zaifeiju's space ring. With one scan, he was greatly startled. The resources inside were so numerous it was horrifying. All kinds of precious pills and spiritual medicine, heavenly materials and earthly treasures, talismans and precious minerals were all available. It even included spiritual liquid to enhance the mid-stage Jiten. Not only could disciples benefit, even some elders of the Green Cloud sect could benefit. The most astonishing was the presence of 10 top-grade magic artifacts. To know in the entire 9-sect land, there are only a handful of such items, either in the hands of a perfect Supreme Elder of the 9th level of core formation or held by the 9-sect masters. Ordinary elders simply do not have the qualifications to acquire them. Presently there were 10, enough to distribute one to each Supreme Elder. It was worth the loss of a nascent soul jade token, finally recovering a bit of cost. Suddenly, Jiang Fan discovered a piece of jade paper. On it flowed mysterious inscriptions, but most of them were obliterated and unrecognizable. He took it out and showed it to Qin Wangchuan. "Supreme Elder Qin, this is..." before he could finish asking. Qin Wangchuan snatched it away and examined it back and forth in his palm for a long time before exclaiming, "Jade paper heavenly book! Jiang Fan, what level of guest elder did you kill? How did he have something like this on him?" Jiang Fan thought for a moment and said, "Very powerful. I used a nascent soul jade token to take him down." Qin Wangchuan had a look of understanding, his large eyes flashing with amazement. "You found quite a treasure. Everything else in the space storage device can't compare to this piece of jade paper." Jiang Fan asked curiously. "What is the jade paper heavenly book?" Qin Wangchuan fondly replied. "The jade paper heavenly book is said to be a magic artifact of a sage who fell 1,000 years ago. The level is unclear. Before the sage fell, he self-destructed it, and it was so powerful that it wiped out everything in a 1,000-mile radius. The remaining jade paper scattered across the earth. Later, someone picked up a piece and, through reciting the inscriptions on it, achieved the primordial spirit. You know, the primordial spirit is a major realm in the Taoist path, equivalent to the nascent soul realm in magic cultivation." "Ah, does this mean the jade paper has a soul-enhancing effect?" Jiang Fan's eyes showed excitement. At this moment, his soul was close to the nascent soul realm but still lacked a bit. And it was precisely this bit that had led to the failure of his 9 Phoenix KO, Dao Hairpin, in exterminating the Sky Demon Emperor. Qin Wangchuan examined it again and again and said, "It's just a pity this piece of jade paper is severely damaged. Many inscriptions are missing, and its effects are certainly not as good as the legends say. Is there any more jade paper in the space storage device?" Jiang Fan shook his head and said, "No more." Qin Wangchuan regretfully said, "That's such a pity. If only I were still at Jiangshan first-class building. An item as rare as the jade paper, other forces may struggle to find it, but Jiangshan first-class building could definitely find clues." In this regard, Jiang Fan wholeheartedly agreed. How rare is the pill book silver scroll? The demon race themselves don't even have many, and that Yan Daeon alone possessed no less than half. Jiang Fan was also filled with regret and said, "I'll seize the chance to visit Jiangshan first-class building again in the future." Qin Wangchuan thought for a moment. He took out a crimson token from his pocket and tossed it to Jiang Fan. "This is for you." Jiang Fan took it and examined it. He found that the front of the token was engraved with Jiangshan first-class building. On the back were the words Tyrant Guest Elder. "Could this have been your previous Guest Elder token?" Jiang Fan looked at the word Tyrant, then looked at the tiny Qin Wangchuan, trying hard not to burst out laughing. Sure enough, people often call themselves what they lack. Qin Wangchuan's face turned red, glaring, "Ungrateful brat. I'm giving you the identity of a Jiangshan first-class building guest elder and you still laugh at me. Give it back." Jiang Fan stifled his laughter and asked, "Can I use this token?" Qin Wangchuan said with a straight face, "I never revealed my identity. In transactions, I always disguised myself as an indistinguishable adult. You can activate this token to continue serving as a guest elder of Jiangshan first-class building. No one will notice the change. Is there really such a good thing?" Jiang Fan delightedly played with it and asked, "Are there any restrictions to serving as a guest elder?" Qin Wangchuan said, "Jiangshan first-class building will issue a trading task via the token every month. You just need to complete it. If you can't, it doesn't matter, it will only lower your rating. With this identity, you can issue tasks to find jade paper within Jiangshan first-class building. It's far more convenient than searching as a guest. Walking around Taikang State with this identity provides many conveniences." Only then did Jiang Fan realize the value of this identity. It was what Qin Wangchuan fought for many years to finally acquire, and now he passed it all on to Jiang Fan. "Gratitude is not expressed with mere words. Once I set foot in Taikang State, I will definitely look for a way to resolve your body's freezing condition." Jiang Fan bowed deeply. Qin Wangchuan was moved but quickly grew somber. "Forget it. I've been searching my whole life without success. By the time you find something, I might already be gone. Don't force it." Jiang Fan said no more. He stored the token and the jade paper and handed the space storage device to her as well. "Please, Supreme Elder Qin, distribute the resources inside too." Qin Wangchuan nodded slightly. "All right, Elder Zhao is in my care. If you have matters to attend to, go handle them promptly. There are only 5 days left before the day Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion recruits you. Finish all your business within this period." Jiang Fan nodded. He donned the turtle breath cloak and quietly arrived at the hidden space on the Great Wall, ensuring no one was inside. Jiang Fan had the little Kirin stand guard at the entrance. He then took out the soul-suppressing Buddha beads. The figure of Yan Daeon, whose body was half torn, was clinging tightly to a space storage ring, his face filled with anxiety. Jiang Fan, give this chair a way out. I swear not to seek revenge, and I'll give you this space storage ring and the spell. What do you say? Oh, giving the spell too? Jiang Fan glanced at the space storage ring in his hand, suddenly realizing what kind of trick he had up his sleeve. Yan Daeon, do you hope that Jiang Fan will activate the space storage ring and trigger the trap within it? A trap set by Xianxia at the 9th layer perfection is already so dangerous. A trap set by Yan Daeon is undoubtedly at the nascent soul level, easily able to obliterate Jiang Fan. This guy, on the brink of death, still thinks about survival. Fine, I'll trick you into giving me the spell. However, Jiang Fan did not agree directly. This kind of old monster has too deep of a mind. If he agrees too quickly, the other party will inevitably suspect whether Jiang Fan knows that the space storage device has a trap. Then, in a fit of anger, he would take the spell of the space storage device to his grave, not giving it to Jiang Fan even in death. Therefore, he pretended to be very cautious and said suspiciously, "Deputy Building Master Yan, are you really so agreeable? I haven't said anything, and you're already giving me the space storage device. Won't it have a trap left in it, intending to trick me?" Yan Daeon's expression tightened. He cursed secretly, "Cunning little bastard." On the surface, he looked very bleak. He pointed to his own remnant soul body. "Look at my state, what else do I have besides the space storage device?" Only then did Jiang Fan dispel his doubts and said, "That's true. I didn't kill you also for your space storage device. As for your condition for releasing you, I find it hard to agree. Once I release you, what if you seize a new body, rebuild, and come back for revenge someday?" Yan Daeon immediately said, "I can swear by the heavenly tribulation. An oath at the nascent soul realm is very effective. If violated, it can easily trigger the punishment of the heavenly tribulation." Jiang Fan secretly laughed. Such words that cannot be distinguished between true and false, only a fool would believe. Of course, he chose to play dumb. His expression became hesitant. Yan Daeon intensified his words and said, "I'll swear right now. I, Yan Daeon, swear by the heavens and the 10,000 tribulations. If I, Yan Daeon, ever seek revenge on Jiang Fan, may the thunder, fire, strong wind, and flood descend, leaving me with no burial place." After swearing, he found Jiang Fan's expression relaxed quite a bit, secretly pleased in his heart. "Jiang Fan, you still suffer from lack of experience after all. If swearing to the heavens were effective, wouldn't there be no scheming among nascent soul experts? When things happen, just swear to the heavens and all would be well. Only an ignorant junior like you would believe it." Thinking like this in his heart on the surface, he looked very sincere and said, "How about it, can you rest assured now?" Jiang Fan slightly let go of his concerns and said, "Since the senior has made such a poisonous vow, the junior naturally has no major concerns. The junior will release you now. I hope the senior will keep his promise and not make any actions that might cause misunderstanding for the junior." With a thought, he withdrew the soul-suppressing Buddha beads. The moment Yan Daeon freed himself, he immediately had the thought of escaping. But when he saw the soul-suppressing Buddha beads still activated in Jiang Fan's hand, he calmed down again. His remnant soul body cannot escape the soul-suppressing Buddha beads. Moreover, there is that mysterious little spirit beast at the cave entrance. It was the one that discovered him while he was hiding. Clearly, this little spirit beast also has some restraining effect on soul bodies. After weighing it, he decided to proceed with the plan and use the space storage device to kill Jiang Fan. In this way, he could escape and take revenge as well. "Haha, of course. I, Yan, still have this bit of credibility." He feigned throwing the space storage device over. Jiang Fan stopped him and said, "Wait, I'm worried there might be an issue with your space storage device. Open the space storage device yourself once." Yan Daeon sneered in his heart. "You little brat, you're really cautious. Fortunately, you're not a guest elder of Jiangshan first-class building and don't know that there are traps in the space storage devices above guest elder level. And such traps won't be triggered by the owner. Anyone else touching it will trigger it." He smiled wryly and said, "Little friend Jiang is really cautious. However, you've misjudged me, Yan. Since I've been sincere to you, there's no way I'd set any trap. Let me demonstrate it on the spot to prove my innocence." He immediately held the space storage device and chanted the spell. "Make money every day, luck throughout the 4 seas." After chanting, the space storage device shook slightly. Yan Daeon took out a Thunder Lightning token from it. It turned out to be the Thunder Extension Order. He smiled and said, The heavenly thunder, 6 parts of the 10,000 tribulations holy temple. Little friend Jiang is not unfamiliar with it, right? He had seen Jiang Fan use cloud shadow, so he naturally knew this item was tempting to Jiang Fan. Thunder extension order. Jiang Fan was surprised. He hadn't expected Yan Daon to have such a thing. Which part is it? He already had cloud shadow and undying blade. Yan Daon said, Heavenly Abyss Heart. It's the one he didn't have. Great. Jiang Fan showed his joy and said, Give it to me quickly. Yan Daon smiled as he put the thunder extension order into the space storage device and helplessly said, It's all yours. He didn't believe that upon seeing the thunder extension order, Jiang Fan would be able to resist taking it out to examine carefully after obtaining the space storage device. As he threw the space storage device over, Jiang Fan caught it with one hand. Then he threw the soul-suppressing Buddha beads with the other hand. Yan Daon's expression changed. What do you mean by this? Burning bridges after crossing the river? He was furious in his heart. He hurriedly retreated to the cave entrance. The little Kirin noticed this. It opened its mouth and spat. A current of air blew the soul body, which was in a nearly invisible state, flipping it repeatedly in midair. Yan Daon was horrified. This little spirit beast truly has divine skills that restrain souls. Just in this delayed moment, the soul-suppressing Buddha beads caught up and twined around him like a twisted rope. Yan Daon was both shocked and angry. The only hope now was that Jiang Fan would be killed by the trap in the space storage device. If he died, the soul-suppressing Buddha beads, without anyone controlling it, would naturally loosen its grip. Jiang Fan, you don't keep your word, Yan Daon yelled without feeling much pain. Meanwhile, he was watching Jiang Fan's actions intently, very eager for Jiang Fan to open the space storage device. As expected, Jiang Fan, upon grabbing the space storage device, joyfully examined it thoroughly. He looked as if he was about to open it. But what left Yan Daon's face stiff was, after playing with it for a while, seemingly unable to put it down, Jiang Fan casually slipped it into his bosom. Aren't you going to open it and have a look? Aren't you afraid that there might be nothing in this space storage device? Yan Daon tried every possible way to remind Jiang Fan to open the space storage device. Jiang Fan looked at him. With eyes that carried a hint of a smile, he said, Why open it? Once opened, the space storage devices from your Jiangshan first-class building would activate a deadly trap, destroying me body and soul. What? Yan Daon's pupils constricted violently, panicking. What trap? As the deputy building master, how can I not know? Little friend Jiang, don't believe in outside rumors. Even now, he is still being stubborn. Jiang Fan said playfully, Deputy Building Master Yan, stop pretending. The space storage devices for guest elders and above in Jiangshan first-class building all have traps that trigger when outsiders open them. I already know. What? Yan Daon's pupils quivered. With the conversation reaching this point, it showed that Jiang Fan truly understood. His facial features contorted in anger as he shouted, Then why are you playing dumb? Jiang Fan smiled and took out a slip of paper. He wrote prosperity and fortune throughout the 4 C's on it and then stuck it on the space storage device. After doing all this, he then relaxedly said with a smile, Of course it's to trick the spell out of you. If I don't play dumb, how will you get tricked? Yan Daon finally understood. Jiang Fan had been playing mind games with him the whole time. His eyes widened in disbelief. So you never believed the oath I swore? Jiang Fan scoffed. If oaths were useful, how many scumbag guys and girls would have been struck dead? But aren't they all living quite comfortably? Yan Daon was so stifled that it felt like his chest was about to explode. He had been tricked by the same person twice, once to drink the netherworld poison, and once to obediently hand over the spell for the space storage device. What he couldn't accept the most was that the other person was a junior, and what made him feel uneasy was, Jiang Fan took out a strange jade disc. It had 4 holes on it, 3 small and 1 large. One of the small holes emitted a faint red glow. The other holes were dim and colorless. What is that? Yan Daon had a foreboding feeling. Jiang Fan said calmly, Sending you to where you belong. Otherwise, leaving cunning old monsters like you around will be trouble sooner or later. Yan Daon was so angry his chest heaved. If his physical body were still here, he might have spat blood from rage. You little bastard, you have the face to call me cunning. Do you never look in a mirror? To trap a nascent soul expert in such a way. How dare he accuse the victim of being cunning? Jiang Fan couldn't be bothered to argue with him and worryingly pressed the jade disc against Yan Daon's remnant soul. "What are you doing? Ah, what is this wicked thing? It's absorbing my soul, take it away." Yan Dayan struggled in fright. But in no time the screams stopped abruptly. On the jade disc, the second hole began to emit an unsteady red glow. After a while, the red glow began to stabilize. Although it was weaker compared to the green crane master's red glow, it did light up. Phew, Jiang Fan let out a sigh of relief. He had been worried that Yan Dayan's remnant soul wouldn't be enough to ignite the second hole. Luckily, the hell beast only tore away half of the soul. If it had torn off a bit more, it might have been useless, having resolved a significant threat. Jiang Fan did not intend to target his space storage device for now, at least not until he had the ability to defend against a nascent soul strike. Otherwise, it would be courting death. He focused his mind, entered the heavenly thunderstone, and arrived before the giant egg. "Rebellious guy! Rebellious guy!" Jiang Fan called out several times. This little trickster, last time he consumed a conch full of water source essence and promised to offer some true spirit blood again. But despite Jiang Fan calling multiple times, the giant egg remained inactive. It seemed as if it had fallen into a deep sleep. Jiang Fan laughed in anger. This sneaky thing, pretending to be asleep to avoid paying up. He summoned the ancient heart mirror and placed it in the small, broken temple on the giant egg. Last time, it had suppressed rebellious guy to the point of begging for mercy. But this time, after placing the ancient heart mirror inside, rebellious guy didn't budge. Jiang Fan was taken aback and frowned. Could it be that after consuming the water source essence, it had recovered a lot, and was no longer that afraid of the suppression from the ancient heart mirror? So it dared to pretend to be asleep to avoid paying up? Hee. Jiang Fan was genuinely infuriated. Though there are wrong names, there's no wrong nickname. Rebellious guy is truly a name crafted just for it. But does it think it can avoid Jiang Fan by feigning ignorance? Without hesitation, Jiang Fan summoned a treasure chest in front of him, kicked open the lid of the chest. 10 conches were neatly arranged inside, all filled with water source essence. With a buzz, the giant egg suddenly shook. "Ah, so many!" Rebellious guy subconsciously exclaimed in surprise, then quickly covered its mouth, pretending to have just woken up. Oops, big brother, when did you come? When did you arrive? I'm really sorry, I was asleep just now, didn't know you were here." "Ha," Jiang Fan sneered. This crafty thing has too many tricks up its sleeve. He closed the treasure chest, stepped on it, and said lightly, "True spirit blood, hand it over." This time, how could rebellious guy dare to play tricks? If it really did act up, there's no way Jiang Fan would give it the water source essence. Quickly, it replied delightfully, "Okay, big brother. I've prepared it for you a long time ago, but I was waiting for you to come and collect it." A crack appeared on the eggshell. A silk-thin thread of essence blood flowed out. Similar to last time, Jiang Fan shouted, "Just like squeezing toothpaste, can't you give a bit more?" Rebellious guy said pitifully, "Big brother, that's all the essence blood I recovered last time." Jiang Fan didn't believe a word of what this crafty thing said, but he didn't plan to expose it either. The true spirit blood was too overpowering. Even a tiny bit was enough to make Jiang Fan wish he were dead. More than that, and he wouldn't be able to digest it right away. Jiang Fan sealed the essence blood in a jade bottle and exited the heavenly thunder stone. Rebellious guy panicked. Hey, you're leaving. Aren't you giving me the water source essence? Do you still want true spirit blood next time?" Once he confirmed Jiang Fan had truly left, rebellious guy began to mutter again, "Taking my blood and running off. So irresponsible. Once I'm hatched, I'll first do this, then that, and finally this. And what is this and that you plan to do?" Jiang Fan's gloomy voice echoed within the heavenly thunder stone, scaring rebellious guy into a shudder, making it quickly change its tone. "Of course, it's to respectfully serve Big Brother in various ways. I'm just a child, could I possibly have any bad intentions?" "The hell you are a child." Jiang Fan almost couldn't resist swearing. This little trickster looked nothing like a child. As cunning as a 1,000-year-old demon, he was done playing mind games with it. Once he used its true spirit blood, he would find a way to deal with this creature. With a thought, a conch flew onto the giant egg. "Next time when I'm collecting essence blood, don't pretend to be asleep. Also, remember as always, water source essence isn't that easy to come by. I bravely stole it from the jaws of death in the dragon pond and tiger cave. Can't let you have it for nothing." Like last time, a few more magical treasures, little toys. Rebellious guy glanced at the box filled with conches on the ground, then tried to recall the so-called life and death, dragon pond and tiger cave scenes it should imagine. The corners of its mouth twitched. whose Dragon Pond and Tiger Cave stacks an entire box of water source essence neatly for you to take. Must have looted it from somewhere, right? It reluctantly said, I only have a few toys. If you take them all, what will I play with? I'll only give you one. Jiang Fan immediately said, okay. Anyway, the water source essence was obtained for free. No matter how much he exchanged it for, he still profited. Rebellious guy excitedly cracked open the eggshell and swallowed the conch, and spat out a snow-white bead. Last time it was a myriad demon stone. This time it's another unknown bead. Jiang Fan asked in surprise, what is this? The rebellious guy said, pain relief stone. Hold it in your mouth and it can numb the sense of pain. However, it's only recommended for critical moments. For instance, when you are crossing a heavenly tribulation. Because with each use, the stone's effectiveness weakens until it loses its function entirely. Jiang Fan immediately understood that this was a treasure. How many have given up on breaking through to the nascent soul realm simply because they couldn't endure the pain of heavenly thunder striking their body? With this stone, it undoubtedly raises the chances of breaking through to nascent soul. This is absolutely something that ninth-layer perfection cultivators dream of possessing. Its desirability is no less than the Bodhi pill. Having obtained such a treasure, Jiang Fan left satisfied. The rebellious guy confirmed that Jiang Fan had truly gone this time. Only then did he get up, clutching himself in agony. Bloodsucker, you little bloodsucker! You've plundered another one of my magical treasures. He munched noisily on the water source essence. While eating, he grumbled to himself, I'm putting up with you for now. Once I exit seclusion, I will show you my true power. HMPH. Now back to Jiang Fan. After obtaining the true spirit blood, he pulled out a large bucket of spiritual liquid. He diluted a trace of true spirit blood 100 times over. Even though he had previously consumed and survived its effects, facing it once again now inevitably brought a shadow over his mind. He forcibly suppressed the urge to use the pain relief stone, grasped a small bottle, and decisively swallowed it. That familiar, unbearable agony once more spread through his entire body. In the hidden space, his piercing screams of pain echoed. The little Kirin covered its ears with complicated emotions in its eyes. Everyone envied its master's glory. Little did they know. Everything the master achieved was paid for with his life. Before the long, icy river, Su Yining was crouched on the ground, her face buried in her hands, sobbing bitterly, Master, do I even have the face to stay in the 9th sect anymore? After Li Qingfeng patiently counseled her, she no longer sought to end her life. But no matter what, she refused to return. She couldn't bring herself to face the overwhelming flood of gossip and ridicule. Li Qingfeng spoke sincerely. When I was young, I too once regarded dignity as everything. For this, I made many irrational decisions. Looking back now, those things I thought were shameful are nothing but fleeting clouds. A breeze blows them away and they quietly disperse, leaving no trace in one's heart. Su Yining continued to sob incessantly. She still couldn't let it go. Master, I can't do it. Li Qingfeng gazed lovingly at her back. Certain people, certain things, at certain moments feel like they are everything to you. Like unrequited love, like betrayed true feelings, like unexpressed grievances. But life is far too long. Too long, so long that those people and things you obsess over will eventually be forgotten in the ordinary passage of time. So long that, when you recall them again, you'll realize they are already distant memories. Like clouds on the horizon, like birds in the sky. They pass by, but they leave no trace. He patted Su Yining's shoulder softly, and gently said, You must learn to endure. Leave the rest to time. It will help you fade everything away. Perhaps Su Yining understood something, or perhaps she simply didn't want Li Qingfeng to worry. She stopped crying, wiped away her tears and said, Thank you, Master. Give me some time to calm down. I want to leave the 9th sect land for a while, to see the outside world. Li Qingfeng revealed a look of relief. He wasn't afraid of Su Yining venturing into the greater world. What he feared was her losing her will, falling into an irrevocable despair. The dazzling and fantastical sights of Taikang State would broaden her horizons and open her heart. Today's events would pass all the more quickly. All right, I'll go prepare this for you. Help you head to Taikang State. She's not going anywhere. A cold and harsh shout rang out from not far away. Kang Yuanba led a group of disciples, approaching with great imposing force. Li Qingfeng's face grew solemn. He subtly shielded Su Yining behind him and whispered, Hurry and go. Run toward Boundary Mountain. Find Vice Pavilion Master Yi. He initially wanted to say to find Jang Fan, but reconsidering, he realized the giant sect was here seeking revenge against Jiang Fan. Looking for Jiang Fan now would only bring disaster upon him. The Green Cloud sect hadn't returned yet, and they wouldn't be able to protect Jiang Fan. Su Yining's face turned pale. Hearing this, she quickly bypassed the giant sect, attempting to flee toward Boundary Mountain. But after just a few steps, a supreme elder with an oppressive aura flashed forward, blocking Su Yining with cold, disdainful eyes. Trying to escape. You are exactly the one we're after. Li Qingfeng exploded in fury, brandishing his sword to strike, shouting, a supreme elder stooping to bully the young. Have you no shame? Before he even reached his target, a wild, overbearing aura surged forth from the giant sect. It was none other than the towering figure of Kong Yuanba. His fists brimming with unmatched palm power sent him flying along with his sword. Fresh blood streamed instantly from Li Qingfeng's mouth. That one strike shattered several ribs within him. He hauled himself up through sheer willpower, leaning on his sword, shouting, "What are you trying to do?" That supreme elder, amidst Su Yining's terrified cries, gripped her shoulder and brought her back to Kong Yuanba's side. Su Yining struggled ceaselessly, shouting, "Kong Yuanba, how dare you injure my master? I won't let you off the hook." Smack, without turning around, Kong Yuanba slapped her across the face, leaving her snow-white cheek flushed with blood red. A thin stream of blood seeped from the corner of her mouth. When elders speak, the young should be silent. He gazed coldly at Li Qingfeng, saying, "Go back and tell Jiang Fan. In 3 days, come to my giant sect to retrieve her. If he's late by a single 2-hour period, then I'm sorry. The sins Jiang Fan committed will have to be repaid by Su Yining," Li Qingfeng urgently shouted. "Come at me instead. What kind of man-bull is a young girl?" Kong Yuanba seized Su Yining's jaw with a fierce grip. Even so, it couldn't hide her breathtaking beauty. "My disciples aren't interested in some old man like you." Kong Yuanba smirked cruelly. "Remember my words. If Jiang Fan is late by a single 2-hour period, countless disciples will be lining up to sample Su Yining. If he comes a day late, whether she'll still be alive, well, that's not something I can promise." "What?" Li Qingfeng roared furiously. "Kong Yuanba, you beast!" He gripped his sword, stumbled forward, and charged at Kong Yuanba, staggering, shouting, "Release her, or I'll never rest until my dying breath against your giant sect." Among all the disciples, the most pitiful was Su Yining. Su Yoren and Chen Silin had Jiang Fan's affection. Only she, since coming to Heavenly Sword Peak, seldom wore a genuine smile. Always eating alone, cultivating alone, entering seclusion alone. Occasionally hearing news of Jiang Fan's rapid progress, she would secretly brood in sorrow. When facing Jiang Fan, she'd act proud and prickly. Yet once Jiang Fan left, she'd fall into silent desolation. As her master, he had witnessed it all and felt pain deep in his heart. But it seemed heaven had withdrawn all its compassion for her. Today, it was as though fate harbored malevolent intent, making her lose all face publicly, becoming a target of unanimous scorn and ridicule, ripping away even her courage to live. After painstakingly consoling her, the giant sect then used her as a hostage, threatening to subject her to the most humiliating treatment. Giving her no time to catch her breath, Li Qingfeng was anguished, uncomprehending why was the heavens treating her so cruelly. Su Yining gazed at the bloodied, staggering Li Qingfeng approaching. Her tearful eyes blurred. "Master, don't come over." How could he possibly be a match for this group? It was nothing short of a moth flying into the flames. A self-inflicted demise. Li Qingfeng shouted, "Yining, don't be afraid. Your master will protect you." If the heavens showed her no mercy, if even he, her master, abandoned her, how pitiful would she become? "Kong Yuanba, let her go." He charged forward, circulating the spiritual power within him, and with one strike aimed at Kong Yuanba. Kong Yuanba's face was filled with malice. "Overestimating yourself?" Li Qingfeng was merely at the 7th level of core formation, and his swordsmanship was mediocre at best. To challenge him was undoubtedly foolish. He casually sent a palm strike forward. Crack! The sword in Li Qingfeng's hand shattered into countless fragments on the spot. The already broken ribs in his chest pierced through his flesh. A gush of blood sprayed out violently. To everyone's shock, Li Qingfeng not only refused to retreat. Instead, he seized the opportunity to grab onto Kong Yuanba's arm, a short sword sliding from his left sleeve into his hand. He thrust it against Kong Yuanba's neck. His eyes bloodshot, he roared furiously, "Release her!" A mouthful of blood spewed out. It splattered all over Kong Yuanba's face and drenched his pristine clothes. All the disciples of the giant sect were momentarily stunned by Li Qingfeng's ferocious state. Some of them felt a faint sense of fear. They even began to wonder, was capturing Su Yining truly the right decision? Kong Yuanba alone glanced down at the blood staining his clothes, wiping the flesh-stained blood off his face. A murderous glint flickered in his eyes. "You old wretch!" If there was anyone from the Green Cloud sect who had crossed paths with him more than anyone else, it was undoubtedly Li Qingfeng. On that day at Boundary Mountain, when he tried to teach Jiang Fan a lesson before the Green Cloud sect arrived in full force. It was this stubborn old man who stood in his way, making him lose all face in public. From that moment, he'd already harbored a desire to kill. Now, with Su Yining's capture, this old man was once again entangling him incessantly, even spraying filthy old blood all over him. Kong Yuanba let out an enraged laugh, his body suddenly trembling. Crack! The short sword in Li Qingfeng's hand shattered directly. The hand clutching Kong Yuanba's arm burst open as well from the shock. Kong Yuanba seized the opportunity to clasp Li Qingfeng's neck, roaring, "You old codger! Dare to challenge me? I'll send you on your way first." Upon hearing this, Su Yining let out a frantic scream, "Don't hurt my master!" Several supreme elders of the giant sect frowned. They all intervened to stop him. "You can't kill him. We're here to force Jiang Fan to come to the giant sect, not to kill Green Cloud sect elders. Don't complicate matters. Just leave him here and ignore him." The elders exchanged anxious glances. They all tried to persuade Kong Yuanba. "Sect master, calm yourself. If we openly kill an elder, it will inevitably lead to a full-scale war between the two sects. There's no need to escalate the situation to such an extent." Previously, their plan was only to capture Su Yining. Killing a Green Cloud sect elder was never part of their strategy. If they did kill one, the Green Cloud sect, despite being weaker than the giant sect, would seek revenge without hesitation. And when it came to a deathmatch between the two sects, even if the giant sect prevailed, they would suffer significant casualties. Acting on impulse just wasn't worth it. Kong Yuanba, however, remained furious after hearing these words. He roared, "Everyone shut up. Why has my giant sect fallen to such disgrace? Why are we being trampled upon by some worthless brat? Isn't it because of your cowardice and hesitation? That brat killed 2 of our supreme elders without consequence. Yet you tremble at the thought of us killing a mere ordinary elder. You're all a bunch of useless cowards," as he shouted in rage. He slammed his palm down upon Li Qingfeng's chest. Thud! Li Qingfeng's heart burst apart. The struggling hands lost their strength instantly. He became limp like a lifeless rag doll. The focus in his eyes rapidly faded. Through the haze, he saw Su Yining screaming madly, saw her being struck unconscious, moving farther and farther away from him. "Yining!" Kong Yuanba discarded him into the icy snow with contempt, even spat forcefully on him. "Old wretch, die already! Let's go!" The disciples of the giant sect looked grim, but since the deed was done, they could only leave, carrying a trace of unease following Kong Yuanba. Li Qingfeng's consciousness rapidly waned. He knew his end was near, yet he could not die, not just yet. If he died, who would save Su Yining? Summoning his last shred of awareness, he laboriously retrieved the only revitalizing pill left in his possession. With his battered and mangled hand, he struggled desperately to bring it to his lips. Bit by bit, finally, the revitalizing pill reached his lips, but he realized he couldn't open his mouth. His throat had already been crushed by Kong Yuanba. He had no strength left. The revitalizing pill sat at his lips, yet he was unable to swallow it. The faint fragrance of the pill was the only thing keeping him barely alive. He didn't know how much time had passed. From Boundary Mountain came the noises of various sects departing in different directions, heading back to their respective sects. A commotion of voices reached Li Qingfeng's ears, drawing his consciousness back, if only slightly, to the present. It was the people of the Green Cloud sect. They had returned. Jiang Fan made it back alive? Really? Where is he? Where? Unbelievable, he survived. At last, a passing group from a sect noticed Li Qingfeng and cried out in shock. "Sect Master Liu, disciples of the Green Cloud sect, come quickly." Hearing the commotion, the Green Cloud sect members approached with growing concern. Sect Master Liu Wuchen, Supreme Elders Shikaishan, Zhuang Yunian, Huang Zhanshan, Zheng Qiushuang, Elders Wen Hongyao and Feng Guchen, disciples Tang Tianlong, Su Qiuning, Tao Zhengjun, Na Yunxi, and others. They all hurried over. The surrounding elders from various sects stepped aside, expressions filled with complex emotions. Liu Wuchen felt an uneasy premonition stirring within. Upon reaching the crowd, the sight that met his eyes was of a bloodied, mangled figure dressed in the Green Cloud sect elder robes. He froze in place. For a moment, he could hardly believe that what lay before him was one of the elders of the Green Cloud sect. Kaishan followed closely behind. He too was stunned, for he recognized that this was his most cherished disciple, the one who had succeeded him in overseeing Heavenly Sword Peak, Li Qingfeng. 3 full breaths passed. Before he finally reacted, he let out a heart-wrenching cry, "Qingfeng!" He hurried forward and quickly supported him. But upon holding him, he realized all the bones in his body were shattered. It's master, you've arrived." Li Qingfeng, now unable to see anything, weakly grasped Shi Kaishan's arm. "Quick, save Su Yining. She was taken by the giant sect." At this moment, even speaking was impossible for him. All he could manage were breathy utterances. Shi Kaishan cradled him, hurriedly stating, all right, we'll save her immediately, we'll rescue her right away." He noticed the revitalizing pill perched at Li Qingfeng's lips, unable to be swallowed. He quickly crushed the pill into powder, feeding it to him, but his throat was already crushed. The medicine couldn't go down. Slightly shaking his head, Li Qingfeng uttered weaker and weaker breaths. "It's useless." Shi Kaishan's anxiety burned like fire. "Wen Hongyao, aren't you here yet?" When Hongyao was already rushing over, she heard the urging and sensed dire urgency, abandoning even her cane. She scrambled over. When she reached Li Qingfeng's side, she fell forward onto the ground. Not even bothering to get up, she crawled hastily and grabbed Li Qingfeng's wrist. Just upon touching it, her face turned pale and tears welled uncontrollably in her eyes. "His heart is shattered. His throat was crushed too, no medicine will help. He won't make it." Shi Kaishan slumped onto the ground, his gaze fixed and vacant. In an instant, tears rolled down from his weary old eyes. He shook his head. No, Qingfeng, you won't die. I'll bring you to the divine doctor Shangyuan Sheng. He's still here at Boundary Mountain. He'll definitely save you. He definitely will." Qingfeng gripped Shi Kaishan's arm, applying a slight pressure. "Master, Jiang Fan has returned. Do you know about it?" At the mention of Jiang Fan, his voice seemed to grow a little stronger. Shi Kaishan felt his chest twist in pain, his frail, aged body trembling uncontrollably. His deeply wrinkled face, etched with the marks of time, was now covered in flowing tears. "We know. We all know." Li Qingfeng forced out a faint, apologetic smile. "I'm sorry, Master, I misjudged. I didn't let him join Heavenly Sword Peak." At this moment, Li Qingfeng still blamed himself for this very matter. Shi Kaishan's face was streaked with tears, his heart racked with overwhelming regret. Back then, he had even struck Li Qingfeng over this issue. With tears in his eyes, his voice trembled as he spoke. No, you're the one who brought Jiang Fan into the Green Cloud sect. You're the one who found a peerless talent for the sect. The entire Green Cloud sect is grateful to you. Even your master is proud of you." A faint smile appeared on Li Qingfeng's face. "That's good news." Liu Wuchen walked over, tears glistening and rolling from his eyes. "Elder Li, actually, when I took Jiang Fan away back then, it wasn't because I saw his potential. It was merely to honor a promise to my daughter. Just like you, I didn't believe in him either." So it turned out Liu Wuchen was the same as him. He wasn't the only one who had been blind to Jiang Fan's greatness. At this moment, Li Qingfeng's heart was finally at peace. Even the sect master misjudged him too. Ha. He laughed aloud, releasing Shi Kaishan, his hands groping aimlessly. "Sect master," Liu Wuchen, choked with tears, took his hand. "I'm here." Li Qingfeng gripped his hand tightly, using his final breath to speak. "Please tell Jiang Fan to take good care of Yining. Who among us doesn't make mistakes?" His hand loosened, lifelessly falling. It hung limply in the snow, a generation's elder, thus perished amidst the vast expanse of white snow. "Elder Li, Qingfeng, Master, Uncle Li." The members of the Green Cloud sect let out heart-wrenching cries. Tears shone in countless pairs of reddened eyes. "Master, no." Na Yunxi fell to her knees, her tears cascading like a torrential flood. "Please wake up. When you announced the truce between humans and demons, didn't you say you'd celebrate our Heavenly Sword Peak Junior's survival afterward? You can't go back on your word, Master. If you leave, who will care for our juniors and disciples?" "Wu." Shi Kaishan's frail body trembled incessantly. Amidst the dim haze of his lifeless gray hair, several strands of stark white had appeared unbeknownst to all. He cradled Li Qingfeng's body tightly, his head tilted to the heavens as he wept soundlessly, until one of the female disciples, weeping bitterly, cried out, "Why did this happen? Elder Li didn't fall during the Boundary Mountain battle. Yet he perished after the truce. This is unjust." "It truly is, isn't it? Why? Because of the giant sect." Shi Kaishan's murky eyes suddenly burned with a murderous fury as vast as the sea. He handed over Li Qingfeng's body to Na Yunxi. Without a word, he stomped the ground and sped toward the direction of the giant sect. Zhuang Yunyan's white hair bristled, his tearful eyes wide with unrelenting wrath. This former Green Cloud sect master let out an enraged roar. "Giant sect! You've gone too far! Supreme elders of the Green Cloud sect, follow me?" Boom, the ground trembled violently. This man, whose days were numbered, ignited his very life force and charged toward the direction of the giant sect. Huang Zhanshan, Zheng Qiushuang, and other supreme elders, their eyes brimming with tears, turned their heads and followed in fierce pursuit. "These beasts," Liu Wuchen, his eyes red, roared. "Elders of the Green Cloud sect, follow me?" All the elders, their eyes filled with tears, rushed out after him, including Feng Guchen, though he had once quarreled with Li Qingfeng. It was always for the sake of acquiring more resources for Reincarnation Peak. It was for his own disciples. Never had he entertained any intent to harm Li Qingfeng. Now, as he looked down at Li Qingfeng's lifeless body, his aged frame quivered, his eyes reddened. In his eyes burned a deep and bitter hatred. "Giant sect, I won't let you get away with this." Na Yunxi, tears streaming, gently laid down Li Qingfeng's body. Her gaze was filled with vengeance. Her clenched fists shook violently, her nails digging deeply into her palms. "Master, your disciple will avenge you." She unsheathed her sword and, her tears streaming, dashed in the direction of the giant sect. The disciples of the Green Cloud sect, their reddened eyes glistening, rose as one. "Leave one person here to guard Elder Li's body. The rest follow me." A commanding disciple, stern and resolute, wiped away his tears and bellowed. Amidst the endless snow and ice, the supreme elders, and disciples of the Green Cloud sect, like blazing flames of vengeance, surged ever onward toward the distance. The great wall, in the hidden space. The little Kirin's large eyes glimmered with confusion. "Master, what's wrong with you?" Ever since earlier, its master, who was in deep training, had suddenly become restless. Now he could no longer enter meditation. Jang Fan furrowed his brows. "I just can't seem to calm myself all of a sudden." "Forget it. I've trained enough. Forcing meditation would do more harm than good. Let's go out and see what's happening. I wonder if Elder Li managed to talk some sense into Su Yining." At the thought of Su Yining, a wave of irritation washed over him. Leaving the hidden space, the moment he stood on the city wall, he could see in the farthest reaches of his sight a crowd gathered by the riverbank. "What's going on over there?" Jiang Fan frowned. "Why hasn't everyone dispersed yet? Why are they all gathered there?" After a pause, he summoned the little Kirin. "Let's go take a look." Amidst the clouds, a shadow appeared. In an instant, it flashed to the edge of the crowd. Noticing Jiang Fan's arrival, the faces of those around him displayed a range of expressions, and they instinctively stepped aside. Jiang Fan was puzzled, weaving through the path that had opened before him. He finally saw what lay at the center of the crowd. Su Yoren knelt before a mangled corpse, her tears falling silently. Jiang Fan felt a deep sense of foreboding, as if his throat were being choked. He forced his voice out. "Yoren, this is..." Su Yoren turned her tear-soaked face toward him. "Jiang Fan, my master, is dead." Li Qingfeng, the one who had taken them from Lonely Boat City to the Green Cloud sect, the one who had shielded him time and time again, he was dead. This had to be a joke. Jiang Fan approached slowly and saw that familiar, calm, and smiling face now pale and lifeless. His mind went blank instantly. He stood motionless as if turned to stone, but tears uncontrollable rolled down his cheeks, streaming endlessly. "No, it's impossible. He had the revitalizing pill. How could he die?" Jiang Fan slowly came back to himself, but he could not accept the scene before him. The man who not long ago had drawn his sword for him against Kong Yuanba. How could he die? It couldn't be. Kneeling down before the icy body, Jiang Fan clutched Li Qingfeng's broken form tightly. Looking at that utterly devastated state, looking at that serene, smiling face, the stark contrast wrenched his heart with unspeakable pain. "Why? Why did this happen?" Su Yoren collapsed onto his shoulder, sobbing. "It was the giant sect. They kidnapped Su Yining. Master sacrificed himself to protect Su Yining and was killed by the giant sect." She choked on her sobs. "They shattered his heart and crushed his throat. The revitalizing pill wouldn't go down his throat. We had no choice but to watch helplessly as he passed away." Jiang Fan said nothing. The tears that streamed down his face gradually ceased. His voice now carried an eerie raspiness. "What were Elder Li's final words?" Su Yoren's delicate figure shook violently, unable to stop trembling. "At the end, Master regretted misjudging you and not taking you into the heavenly sword peak. He blamed himself deeply. Even at the moment of his death, he was still dwelling on that single regret. Jiang Fan felt as though his heart was being torn apart. Clutching his chest, he slowly stood. The tears had completely dried. His expression was unnaturally calm. The members of various sects surrounding him looked upon Jiang Fan in that moment. And for some reason, a sense of foreboding gripped their hearts. "Take care of Elder Li's body." Jiang Fan raised his head, his eyes fixed calmly in the direction of the giant sect. Su Yoren, her eyes still glistening with tears, asked, "Where are you going?" Jiang Fan's voice was hauntingly calm, so calm it struck fear into the hearts of those who heard it. "To gather some burial offerings for Elder Li.